right, Stet, why do you train?
So I can kick butt in championships.
He was 3 years old, and we had been working on how to put your hands on a football, and I asked him what he wanted to do with it, and he said, I want to play quarterback at the University of Georgia.
It took the loss. Bennett back to throw on first down. He has too much time. Now he's out of time, and he escapes. And he's running to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, cuts it to the center of the field, still running to the 40, to the 45. The Bulldogs can't get a piece of him. Now he's running down the sideline to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to score a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage.
Stetson Bennett IV, a product of Pierce County High School in Georgia of the AA ranks, and a native of Blackshear, was a 2-year starter at Pierce County, throwing for 6,648 yards, 58 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions, also with 1,037 rushing yards and 17 touchdowns. Playing in a lower division of Georgia high school football, it did not help that Stetson was also on the shorter side, at around 5'10", 5'11", and around 180 to 190 pounds coming out of high school. He only received offers as a 2-star from Mercer, Middle Tennessee State, Georgia Southern, and Columbia of the Ivy Leagues. Stetson, however, was set on having his dream come true of playing as the quarterback for the University of Georgia. Stetson would go on to attend a lot of quarterback camps later on in high school, and he knew that he was going to need to have something to get recognized. He knew that with all the 5- and 4-star recruits that were there passing alongside him, it was going to take a lot more than just his stature and his throwing ability to get recognized. So, Stetson decided to start wearing a mailman hat to these camps. And needless to say, it got him some recognition, and later on would stick as his nickname at the University of Georgia as the Mailman.
He wore the mailman hat. It was quirky, and at the time when you go to all these different camps, all these kids are trying to get noticed, trying to get recognized.
The mailman delivers, so it kind of stuck after that.
While still not receiving an offer from the University of Georgia, Stetson decided to forego any of the scholarship offers that he received to walk on at UGA. Throughout his freshman season in 2017, Stetson would be primarily their scout team quarterback. And from the sideline, Stetson would be able to witness Georgia going 11-1, winning the SEC East, and winning the SEC championship against Auburn, where they got revenge from an earlier defeat in the regular season. This win would lead the Dogs to going to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl game against Oklahoma, where Stetson would have a big role to play, even though no one else would recognize it outside of the team. Stetson was tasked with imitating and being Baker Mayfield for the first team defense as the scout team quarterback. And from reports from the team, he played very well. It was well enough for the coaches to recognize and for him to get a very rare compliment from Kirby Smart himself. From this, Stetson Bennett made a name for himself, and the Dogs ended up winning the Rose Bowl game against Oklahoma, sending them to the championship game against Alabama.
Level at the linebacker position, reads things quickly,
and gets to the ball quickly.
There's a deep ball thrown on time by Stetson Bennett to Trey Blunt, who was able to wall off the coverage and make a terrific catch and bring it down to the 31-yard line. Stetson Bennett still in a quarterback. Spring game for the announcers as well as Bennett steps up in the pocket and fires a deep out route intended for Matt Landers.
That very next spring, Stetson would show promise in the spring game, but with five-star freshman Justin Fields coming in, he would feel like his time at Georgia was coming to an end. And at this point it was. With Jake Fromm and Justin Fields over him on the depth chart, he didn't have much room to grow. So he decided to go JUCO.
Switch it up.
Jones College, a very high-level and respected JUCO in the state of Mississippi, is where Stetson decided to go. Jones College has produced a lot of high-level college football players, and Stetson decided to go there to try to get his next step.
I think he needed a change. I thought it was a great time for Stet to come in and I guess you could say find himself again.
It was awesome. I loved it. Just to try to get out of there and go to a bigger school just like everybody's goal is when they go to JUCO.
Did you think you would ever see him at Georgia again?
No, I honestly didn't. He wanted to go play and compete and show his talents.
You know, Stet was wanted to be back at Georgia. He grew up there. You cut him open, he's going to bleed Georgia blood.
Signing day, were you expecting that you were going to sign with Louisiana in the 24-hour period before then, or how did that all unfold?
Yeah. So I was basically going to sign with Louisiana, and then Georgia came in at the which they had been talking to me a little bit, talking there may be some stuff happening, and then they came in and offered me, and so I committed to Georgia.
After his year in JUCO, Stetson started to get offers from a lot of Group of 5 schools as he went from a 2-star to a 3-star. He got offers from schools like Kent State, UMass, and Samford, and he was ready to lock up a commitment to Louisiana, Lafayette, to coach Billy Napier. But at the last moment, Kirby Smart and James Coley called up Stetson and offered him a scholarship to play as the backup quarterback on scholarship to the University of Georgia.
Can you tell us the story behind the postman's hat and the nickname of the mailman?
All right, good question. So when I was in high school, short guy, going to quarterback camp's not going to really draw too much attention to yourself. And so one of my best friends from high school, his dad was the mayor in our small town. So he had like a lot of cool stuff, and he had the postman hat. And so I just put it on one day and went to a camp, and I did pretty well. I think I may have won it. But they saw the postman hat, and then DJ Dallas, who plays for Miami now, he put something out on Instagram and did like #mailman or something like that. And so that's kind of where it all started, and then I wore it.
Stetson would have to work his tail off fighting for the quarterback 2 job behind Jake Fromm, the returning quarterback. He would be in competition all spring with highly talented recruit Dwan Mathis.
Bennett is the starting quarterback for the black team. The mailman is back home, the prodigal son. In some ways, he transferred off and then returned when they had a need for him. Sophomore to Blackshear, Georgia, goes 5'11", 190. Spring games are good for a lot of things, not the least of which is let's get a good look at who might be number 2 at the quarterback position.
But there's no doubt that there's a different dynamic in that quarterback room because of the question mark at the number 2 QB spot.
Bennett lets it go over the middle and completes it to Trey Blount. And the black team across midfield.
That was a nice throw from Stetson Bennett. Started left, didn't like anything, worked himself up in the pocket, reset his feet, throws a strike.
By the way, change at quarterback for the black team again. Stetson Bennett is back in.
And Bennett lets it go through traffic and completes it on a dime to Matt Landers. And both of them flash on that play.
Great throw.
Never got to play the game, and you never thought that you'd probably share a room with him. So it was a blast. And the steak was phenomenal, as was the catch.
Jeremiah Holloman takes it in from 43 yards. And once again, Bennett showing off his arm as he plays with the red team now.
Tell you what, man, this guy just makes plays. I mean, he just makes throws. He gives his receivers a chance. They go up and make a play for him. He just throws a catchable ball. I mean, I've been pretty impressed with Stetson Bennett. Best player in the draft.
Dynamite drop in. Here's Stetson Bennett to let it go. Oh, what a catch.
Wow. Great throw.
Perfectly placed for Brian Harrion.
Kyler Murray still comes with question marks as far as the way his game translates. But I'll tell you what, if Kyler Murray can make throws like Stetson Bennett's been making today, he'll have a heck of a long career. And
it felt as good as I thought it would. It was awesome running out here. It was kind of, whenever we were warming up, it was still kind of raining, and it was kind of spotty. But then once we went in the tunnel for a few minutes, and then we ran back out, it was packed. It was awesome. I love it.
It was a nice deep ball to Holloman.
Yeah, I just gave it to him, and he ran about 20 more yards, and it felt good. It felt good. So like somebody asked me earlier, how's it? Why'd you come back if you're going to have all these 5 stars over you? And I'm going to answer, it's the same thing. I really don't worry about who else is coming in. I don't really worry about who's here. If I can just do my part for the team and get better every single day, then I'm fine with it. And so I'm just going to compete every day with myself and try to make the best throw at practice, and we'll see how it works out.
What does this spring practice coming out of this feel like compared to last year? Did you really feel you're competing for a spot and a slot and a role this time? What does that feel like comparatively last year's spring to this year's spring?
Yeah, it feels a lot better. I'm not going to transfer this summer, so.
You're not going to show up the portal?
Yeah, no, not going to show up in the portal.
Georgia would start off their season with a win on the road at Vanderbilt, but their first home matchup would hopefully be Stetson's first taste of playing a full real game in Sanford Stadium.
And this is a new quarterback, Stetson Bennett, into the ball game for Georgia. And he'll throw on first down, and he's got a completion to his tight end down inside the 15-yard line to John Fitzpatrick.
Sunday, I watch the game Saturday night. I come back in after he goes to church on Sunday.
There's a pick, and that's going to be a pick 6 for Murray State. Nigel Walton, 34 yards in the opposite direction. They started back on their own 25-yard line. Bennett to the end zone, got a man open. Touchdown, Demetrius Robertson.
At any lineman, and he's out actually limping and around in this one, not able to play.
Bennett avoids the rush, diving for the pylon. Still waiting for a word from the officials. And apparently he's in for the touchdown.
Boy has
there
some
it
speed.
Is.
Yeah. The interesting journey of being here, leaving. I mean, when you're out there today playing a good bit, is that kind of what it's all about? Did you feel like everything you decided was kind of validated out there doing all this?
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, going out there with those guys, me and the second team were able to go out there and play good ball. I thought overall, we scored a good bit of points. Obviously, it could have been better in several places that I messed up. But no, yeah, it was unbelievable.
A lot of their ups and downs before her passing, and Blake really utilizing that to try to speak to others. Bennett right side picks up a Georgia first down. Bennett down the field. Blaylock has it first down. Back to the studio we go, and Kevin Connors. See Stetson Bennett walked on at Georgia, was a scout team quarterback, was a legend on that scout team in that run to the national championship game. Left the school, went played junior college football, and then Kirby Smart called him one day and said, Stetson, we want you back. We're going to give you a scholarship. Come back to Athens, and guess what? He did.
Stetson would finish his 2019 campaign with some garbage duty against Georgia Tech and then one throw against LSU when Jake Fromm went down that could have been intercepted but was not. After this, he and Dwan Mathis would go into the 2020 offseason as fighting for the number 1 quarterback job.
Todd Monken, most recently of the Cleveland Browns, play caller and offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2018, maybe most prominently known from the college game of being the former offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. Todd Monken is set to join the Georgia coaching staff.
Another breaking news edition for the Dogs again this week. This has been a busy 9 days, Matt, but this time Wake Forest graduate transfer Jamie Newman is coming to play football at Georgia. We don't know who the starter will be in 2020, but with a year and a few games experience as starting quarterback, it sure does seem like Newman is either the one to watch or one of a couple to watch.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
We will be suspending all travel from Europe. We're asking everyone to work at home if possible, postpone unnecessary travel.
So we all thought Georgia had a new quarterback in Jamie Newman. Well, that is certainly still true for 2020, but they also have a new quarterback as of right now, meaning today, in former 5-star JT Daniels transferring from USC.
JT Daniels transferring from USC to Georgia.
And just like that, in just a couple of months, Stetson Bennett went from fighting for the starting job with Dwan Mathis for 2020 to being delegated to the 5th-string quarterback behind transfer quarterbacks Jamie Newman, JT Daniels, Dwan Mathis, and coming in true freshman 4-star quarterback Carson Beck. And with no spring practice because of COVID-19, this would be very tough for Stetson to prove himself to the coaches that he was capable of starting for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Breaking news at 5, and UGA quarterback Jamie Newman opting out of the upcoming college football season.
Huge news coming down this afternoon. Jamie Newman opting out at Georgia. This is on the heels of Jamar Chase and Tyler Shelvin opting out at LSU. Well, now it's Georgia's turn to catch the wrong end of this spotlight. So the question now becomes, with Jamie Newman out of there, well, who do you turn to?
Start at Georgia. We told you on Thursday, Dwan Mathis has made this a serious quarterback battle. We not only told you that, after Jamie Newman opted out and it was assumed JT Daniels had that job on lock, not really. We actually thought and still think, coming out of this weekend, Dwan Mathis is the favorite in the clubhouse to land the starting quarterback job at the University of Georgia.
Will be Dwan Mathis, 6'6", 205-pounder. What a story. The redshirt freshman out of Oak Park decides that he's going to hang in there after having brain surgery. Mathis flushed again. Boys, he got some long strides, avoids trouble, and he will be out of bounds a yard shy.
Oh, Dave, I think he had an opportunity to get that first down and went out a little bit early.
See if they go this way. Mathis looking left. Will throw left, and that one is picked off. Monteric Brown with the interception, and Arkansas denies Georgia. We were just talking moments ago in the break. Would we see a change at quarterback to try to kickstart this offense? And what about JT Daniels? Well, I think we got our answer. JT not ready to play yet. So Stetson Bennett getting the call. Bennett near side, pass is caught. George Pickens. Touchdown, Georgia.
Just what you needed. You need to put your big play receiver up the bat. They're playing simple cover 3. The corner's playing way off. And we know how special George Pickens is with the ball in his hands.
Bennett trying to get there, and he does as he hit the pylon with the football.
What an unbelievable effort play by Stetson Bennett.
To the wide side of the field. Bennett looking that way. Underneath. Hits his tight end, John Fitzpatrick, for the touchdown.
Hi, Stetson, from up here in the press box. What has it been like over the last year or two? You were Jake's top backup last year, to watch them bring in Jamie, bring in JT. There's all this talk about Dewan. How do you basically stay in it and end up out here kind of saving the day?
Right. Yeah, it's tough, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people in the world and a lot of voices, a lot of people talking, a lot of people who don't know a lot of stuff talking. And really the only people you can listen to are those close to you and yourself, and just work every day. And, the decision's never made, and, that's all you have to do. You just keep working every day and just only listen to yourself and those close to you.
You weren't demoralized or anything at any point? Like, you didn't feel like the forgotten thing?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, at some point, a little bit, but at the end of the day, Coach Smart's bringing everybody in here to compete, and he's trying to win a national championship. And if those guys coming in here, give us the best chance to win a national championship, then that's what we're going to do. And you just got to compete every day with those guys. So,
how often does something happen that surprises even them? And the reason I ask that is because it happened yesterday. It happened in the first quarter of this game, when Dewan Mathis, who we told you for a couple of weeks was going to be the starter there and started for Georgia, and that coaching staff was very convicted in that decision. They put him on the field, and I think they were stunned at the result. I think they were stunned. I don't know any other way to put that. If you watched them yesterday, it was as if they were playing that game and coaching handcuffed around their ankles and around their wrist, totally shocked. And they had to yank Dewan Mathis. After he got hit and he got rocked one time, he was done. Mentally, he was done. And they had to bring not JT Daniels in because he's still not cleared. They had to bring Stetson Bennett the 19th. He's one of those down the line genealogy kind of guys. He's got a number on the back of his name. So his number was called, and good for Stetson Bennett. However, things tilted in the second half. Order was restored, and that's all great. Like, you got a win at Arkansas, and that's all that matters. Tough stretch coming up for Georgia. Let's get into Georgia. A lot of angst, a lot of nervousness about what happened against Arkansas last week, with good reason. I think there are a lot of questions at the quarterback spot here. I've taken a lot of flack, which honestly I'm a little surprised by suggesting that Stetson Bennett, a few things can be true here. You could praise his work ethic. You could praise the program buy-in nature of this guy. He's been there. He's run scout team for him. Everyone there loves him, and he came in and he won a game for him against Arkansas in week 1. Oh, that's true. I'm not questioning that. Stetson Bennett, as it turns out, was the right guy for the job Saturday. I'm not questioning that. What I have merely suggested, and I'll do it again in no uncertain terms, I don't think Stetson Bennett's going to lead Georgia to an SEC championship. That's my opinion. That's where I stand on it. I didn't think that was that radical. A lot of you did. A lot of you thought I was taking a personal shot at the kid, I guess. Well, I'm not. I got a healthy amount of respect for what he was called to do, especially having not taken very many first-team reps at all. And he came off the bench and ran that offense like he's been doing it for 4 or 5 years. Well, now Arkansas is in the rear view. And now you got probably the most pivotal stretch of your season, and it starts with Auburn this Saturday.
And the game here in Athens tonight, the first Auburn-Georgia meeting came in 1892. It was called the social event of the year. With a limited crowd, it might not be the social event of the year, but it's a big football event. It's Auburn-Georgia. Kirk is calling the game with Chris Fowler. Will not make a pick on this one. Desmond Howard, however you will.
RD, it was very alarming the way that Georgia came out the gate against Arkansas a week ago, not knowing who their quarterback is going to be. I don't think I can go with Georgia. I have to go with Auburn, Bo Nix, Seth Williams, that offense. And they still got a pretty good defense, too. So I'm going Auburn.
You saw Stetson Bennett last week come in and play great.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see him continue to play good and continue to play great. But listen, to me, it's all about Georgia's defense. This defense has suffocated this Auburn offense consistently year after year. I think they can create turnovers, make some big plays. Georgia's offense makes enough big plays playing at home to get the win.
All right, Amari Hardwick, the former Bulldog defensive back, Kirby Smart buddy and teammate. Who wins the game tonight, Amari?
Well, this is the University of Georgia versus Auburn, or you could say Auburn versus David Amari Hardwick. That's apropos too. So I think Kirby, forces the defense to do what I know he knows how to get them to do. Having been a former safety himself, he'll depend on the count, and a lot of those guys in the secondary, whether it's Stetson or Dewan, as my brother said, and that being David, my son and I, with the Bulldogs ready to rock, We go with Georgia for the social event.
He got props and everything.
I love it. Little man.
All right, so we've got one Georgia helmet that's on. What is Lee Corso? What do you got, buddy?
Last week, Auburn looked good in beating number 23 Kentucky. Georgia had a rally to beat Arkansas, a team that lost 20 straight SEC games. So Auburn has the edge. But since Auburn is the only school that will not let me wear their mascot head, I got no other choice. Go, beautiful dogs. Give me that Georgia Bulldog.
He takes it personally that they won't let Aubie's head go on Corso.
He should.
Yeah.
I see.
Never's worn Aubie. Never.
There you go. LC's probably saying, that dog is beautiful. Thanks to Amari Hardwood. Go see his movie at the end of the month, the thriller called Spell. Amari, great to have you with us.
Great job, Amari.
Enjoy your college football Saturday.
Good job, Ghost.
It's Georgia on a warm evening. Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by PlayStation 5. It's only week 2 in the SEC, but there's late season intensity. The normal packed pandemonium of Sanford Stadium has been replaced by socially distanced but still enthusiastic students and fans. Tonight's SEC game between the hedges, between top 10 old rivals, the Auburn Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs, the oldest rivalry in the Deep South, the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive. Game of the week. The intrigue starts with the Georgia quarterback position. Their quarterback room, you could write a reality TV series around it. Jake Fromm now with the Bills. Of course, Justin Fields waiting to start his season at Ohio State. Jamie Newman comes in as a touted grad transfer from Wake Forest, but then he opts out. Then it becomes a three-way competition for that starting job. Who is it going to be? JT Daniels comes from USC, get the pedigree, but not quite cleared for a knee injury until last week. So DeJuan Mathis, the big 6'6" true freshman, gets the start. But Stetson Bennett comes off the bench when Mathis struggles at Arkansas, plays well. We expect to see him tonight.
Hey there, Chris. The fact that Stetson Bennett is going to start this game for Georgia is a testament to his relentless work ethic and sheer determination. There was a point during camp when he stopped getting reps at quarterback because they just had too many guys. 3 weeks ago, he sat in offensive coordinator Todd Monken's office and was told, sorry, we just don't see you as the starter here, but he would not be deterred. He just worked harder until he changed the way his teammates and eventually his coaches saw him. Guys, I watched him during warm-ups. There was a few times he looked around, smiled, took it all in as he gets ready to make his first start in the stadium he grew up coming to.
Yep. The pass protection, showing blitz. They're coming. Looks like they're going to come.
Pressure's on. Bennett flushed immediately, running for his life. Tries to make something happen and throws a strike. Completes to Kiera Stetson down at the Auburn 15. Receivers for both offenses have been quiet so far. Cook motions out, 3rd and 9. They look that direction. They throw the ball up in the air. Right on cue. Caught. Touchdown. George Pickens beat McCrary, and the Dogs stretch the lead.
Got it
himself, doesn't he?
Got a chip on his shoulder, which I like.
He's got a lot of time for the pocket, and he's looking downfield for Jackson. It's collected at the 11. Had a couple men beat. Would have been a touchdown, but he came back to get the football. Stetson Bennett the fourth. I asked him, what's the family history there? He's very proud of it. Stetson Bennett the first was a bootlegger who became a preacher, like a lot of our family histories. His was colorful. Then they skipped a generation, but he's very eager to keep that family name going, right?
And he doesn't smile a whole lot. You know, he is very serious about his approach and about the big chip that he has on his shoulder and how people are always going to look at the 5-star and this guy or that guy. Like I said a month ago, he was 5th in line. 5th in line. Even Carson Beck, the true freshman, was ahead of him, and now he's the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Brought in JT. You started DeJuan last week, but you had Stetson kind of the whole time. Is he, like, surprising you? Is he making a believer of you?
Yeah, he's not surprising me, no. You know, it's a tough situation where, you know, I can recall the day that we decided to offer him to take him back. And, you know, we had to fight scratch and claw to get him to come back. And I'm certainly glad we did. It was an interesting decision because we had an interesting dynamic on our team, and we felt like what we knew of Stetson, he would be a productive player and a good player. And Stetson's never lacked confidence in himself. You know, I'm happy for him. I want to temper that enthusiasm that he knows he's got to get better. People around him played well, and that's important for Stetson. But he did a good job of understanding what we wanted to do in the game plan, and he executed that really well. So I was very proud of him. He studied really hard this week. You know, the cumulative effect of the number of reps he took last year, I don't think we can ever measure that. I think you have to take that into consideration when you're talking about JT, Carson Beck, and DeJuan, who are all talented in their own right. I mean, they're talented football players. But Stetson taking every single rep with the twos the entire year last year has an effect. And I know it's not the same offense, but it's the same defenses. You know, it's the same preparation. It's just a different word. And he did a good job of managing those things. And we'll continue to develop him as well as the other guys.
I did not expect, like I told you, Georgia to have an edge at quarterback, but they did. It's not apples to apples. I know Bo Nix had to face a defense, the likes of which Stetson Bennett didn't have to face, but here's the point. I said last night, I think Stetson Bennett is a better quarterback than Bo Nix is right now. Which guy looked more poised, but also which guy operated with more a sense of himself being a part of an offense, playing a specific role in an offense? In other words, I'm asking you, which one looked like they had an established identity? And the answer is not the guy who's a returning quarterback in an offense that has a lot of carryover. The answer is the dude who they told a month ago they didn't really think they had a spot for at quarterback. I don't know if you watched the broadcast last night, but Chris Fowler threw that little tidbit in there. Todd Monken and company told him, we don't really think you're a quarterback here. And a month later, he's operating just fine. How many points do you think they need to beat Georgia? Get a number in your head. 3, 2, 1. I think it's 24. That's how confident I think they are, that they can bottle up a lot of what Georgia does. They don't fear the element of quarterback with Georgia. That may be flawed logic, but I don't think they fear the element of quarterback there. To me, the two most important opinions here will certainly not be shared on this show. They will be in the mind of Jeremy Pruitt, they will be in the mind of Kirby Smart, and they will have to do with Stetson Bennett. What does Kirby Smart think of his quarterback? What does Jeremy Pruitt think of Georgia's quarterback? Pruitt and Smart. That's what we're talking about here. Go watch Jeremy Pruitt and Jeremy Pruitt's defenses more specifically. When he has not had to respect the arm talent of a quarterback, when he has not had to respect the passing game of the opposing offense, he locks folks down. They lock folks down because you've already taken something away that they didn't necessarily have to leverage a great deal to take away from you. And we have made the point here, and I'll reiterate the point, Stetson Bennett's a great story. There is a lower ceiling on this offense with Stetson Bennett. You're just not going to belabor this point. You're kidding yourself if you think otherwise. They would love JT Daniels to be ready for this game. He's not ready for this game yet. I don't know when he'll be ready. Jake Rowe and the guys as recently as today over on Dogs 24/7 sharing that Daniels has been a third-team guy this week. So it is Stetson Bennett's show. It should be his. I'd be starting him if I were Kirby Smart too. But my point is, what does Jeremy Pruitt think about him? Because he knows about George Pickens. He knows Kyrus Jackson has emerged. He knows the name Jermaine Burton and what he's capable of potentially flashing in any given game. What does he think about Stetson Bennett? If he doesn't respect him, and he's right in that assumption, then could be a long day for your offense.
And that snap's way over his head. Bennett's got to backpedal all the way, drop the ball inside the 5, and it's going to be a touchdown, I think, or a safety. Let's see. It's a touchdown, Tennessee. The ball kept squirting around at the goal line, and it's recovered by the Volunteers.
No, Brad, hearing about Stetson's pedigree, it feels like destiny that he'd be playing this position for Georgia, but his future kind of took a left turn, a right turn, a U-turn sometimes, but he's here. He's the child of 2 Georgia alums. His dad, Big Stet, he's very close with. His parents had oftentimes come to 90 games during Stetson's childhood. Could be seen listening to the radio call for the Georgia Bulldogs during his upbringing. Often known as the mailman, wearing a Postal Service hat during his training camps because he felt like that was the only way he could stand out as a young quarterback.
It's amazing the thousands of miles they traveled trying to get an invite to Elite 11 quarterback camps, and he kept wearing that cap. And he's throwing deep, and there's going to be pass interference at the 45-yard line as George Pickens got mugged back there by Alante Taylor. And Bennett flushed out of the pocket. running for his life, and he's going to get a first down. Nice run down inside the 10-yard line. Just inside the 8-yard line. Stetson Bennett on a quarterback draw, and again now he cuts to the outside and might have a touchdown. He does. Bennett on the quarterback keeper gives Georgia the lead.
So we're talking to Stetson on a Zoom call. He said to me, if it stops now, it would be pretty cool. Hopefully it doesn't. The way he's playing, not going to stop anytime soon, is it? Playing some good football, making great decisions, using the snap count, understanding where people are, and he even got a break with the dropped interception. Everything's going Stetson Bennett's way since the high snap.
Comes up under center. McIntosh behind him, and he's going to quarterback sneak it. It looks... Well, one official had his foot right on the line and then backed up, trotting in from the far side. The linesman. And then I thought he sort of changed his stride as he was coming toward the ball.
I don't know if he gained any yards. No.
Illegal motion, number 7 on the offense. Penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, third down.
So this is one of the greatest penalties ever if he didn't make the line.
Correction. That penalty is declined. It was 4th down. First down, Tennessee.
Whoa, so the play counted. I thought they blew the play dead before it started.
A half, Georgia with 2 timeouts left. Deep middle, got it, throw to the tight end, and it's all the way down to the 16-yard line to Trey McKinney. Let's see if Georgia can scratch where it's itching here on first down.
Now it's itching all over for Georgia. Can they find a play? Got him on a square in.
And got him, complete. It's Burton again. First down. Across the 50, and the ball comes out, but it's covered by one of Georgia's linemen this time.
The deep square in on first down. That offensive line gave Stetson Bennett time.
Third down at 10. Bennett steps in, fires far sideline, got a man complete. Kearis Jackson again. He's leveled as he caught it, but he's got a first down. Factor today. Second negative factor. Bennett down the middle, complete. It's a touchdown to Kearis Jackson. Bennett's favorite target through the first 3 weeks of the season, and he hooks up with him again. Here is Jackson, the sophomore, who's been the favorite target of Bennett, has his first career touchdown catch as a Bulldog, and it adds to the Georgia lead.
Field goal range.
Play action, gonna go for all of it right here. Jackson got it again. First and goal, Georgia. This time, a little short toss, and how about that? You said, do they have a play action out of this a little bit earlier? And they get it to Carter for the touchdown.
Well, Jalen Carter, the true freshman, defensive tackle.
Play action bootleg. He's going to keep this all the way. And, took a big hit, but he got a first down. I don't think he ever landed. Went over the top of one of the would-be tacklers, and he's got a first down.
You know, you wait 4 years, and nobody notices you, you don't slide, do you? There's no slide when you wait 4 years to play, and you go to the junior college route, you finish off every play. As he said, I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's cool.
It is. And
oh, he got dinged.
Yep. Well, he had a big shot, had his neck bent kind of funny, and he's coming out. He's saying that it's a helmet problem.
Yeah. There's no way you want to come off the field injured the way you played today, especially if you're not, with your helmet. But he took a shot on the helmet right there, boy.
Here's again the look at the end of the play.
I know.
And Stetson Bennett says, I'm coming back in. I'm okay, and so's my helmet. 16-26, another 200-plus yard game. That's 3 in a row for him. For a guy whose entire season last year consisted of 260 passing yards, when he filled in for Jake Fromm at times.
He was excited talking to us before that he was the backup quarterback when they went to Notre Dame that time. He had 15 plays he was going to run, and he's going to throw.
I thought he was going to throw a touchdown.
Yep.
Just a shade late. Jalen Johnson, the intended receiver.
Stetson Bennett is 3-0, Jamie Erdahl.
Stetson Bennett 3-0. How comfortable did you feel in this offense today?
It felt, well, second half felt a lot better than the first half, but I mean, we played well in the first half. It was just we made silly mistakes. We gave him the first touchdown. I didn't get the daggone QB sneak on 4th and 1, and we had a bunch of penalties that just set us back. And going in before half, we didn't get the 4th and 1, and it made us feel not as good as it should have been. And then the second half, we get a little help from the defense.
The mailman delivers for Georgia. Stetson, you have watched these games up in the nosebleeds, and now you're starting for this team at Sanford Stadium. This dream continues for you. How does it feel?
Feels good. I mean, we got to be a little bit better on third down. We had a dry spell there for a little bit that just didn't feel very good, and then we caught it back in the fourth quarter. I mean, it feels great, but we go play Alabama next week. So
absolutely. Thanks, Stetson. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
We got to give more credit to Stetson Bennett. Some people say I've been critical of him. I just think I've been honest about him. I mean, I don't want to belabor that point anymore. But he is doing some really, really good things here. What he's doing, number one, I don't ever view this as a slight. He is managing games exactly the way they're asking him to manage them. And secondly, some of his best decisions aren't even on a stat sheet. The ability to check a ball down or just eat it, sometimes even take a sack or throw a ball away, those are some of the most important decisions Stetson Bennett could be making in this offense. They were also, and he's very good at extending plays on third down to the degree that they need to extend drives. If they were to have an elite quarterback, this would be the overwhelming favorite to win the national championship. As it stands, they dominated Tennessee. They once again exceeded what my personal expectation was for them in terms of a final score, and now they set up a showdown on the road at Alabama.
And with that, we bring you the Home Depot SEC on CBS under the lights in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And our matchup, the game of the year so far, number 3 Georgia against the second-ranked Tide of Alabama.
Who won't play the first half because of a targeting call last week. Bennett across the middle, and we saw this last week. It's picked off.
Yes. It hit an on-rushing lineman, and Aboigbe's got an interception.
Again, Stetson Bennett trying to throw the ball over the middle. So far.
3rd and 11. Bennett pump fakes, running out of time, and down he goes. Dylan Moses is there. Bennett slipped and fell. To open the corner, their own 18-yard line. James Cook in motion out of the backfield, an empty set now for Stetson Bennett. Bennett gonna go deep. Man's there. Got him on the run, and it's James Cook, and he is gone. Touchdown, Georgia. 82 yards. Bennett throws quickly and had it batted again. McIntosh probably would have had a first down had he been able to get it to him. Christian Barmore, I think, got a hand on it. Alabama, did they jump in? Bennett was hoping so. No call. Play clock down to 5.
Looks like they're just going to try to. Holy cow.
That time they did jump in.
Again? I don't think they were going to snap the ball.
Bennett with a hard count twice. First time didn't work. It looks like
offside. Defense was 58 by contact. 5-yard penalty. What was like?
That's hard to believe.
Christian Barmore bit the second time. Bennett down the middle. Touchdown this time to Burton. Jermaine Burton with a touchdown.
Didn't miss that one, did he?
No, he did not.
The lineman and making the stop.
3rd down at 4, low snap. They fake the pitch. Bennett's just got to get rid of this. Actually threw a strike to Pickens. He's short of the first down. Stetson Bennett loads, fires deep near sideline. He's got his man Burton again. And Burton out of bounds at the 35. Big pickup on first down. Quick snap. Bennett has time. Deep middle. Ricocheted and intercepted. Malachi Moore coming back the other way.
still on his feet. At the 40, out to the 44-yard line. Another ricochet interception.
Well, we all know Stetson Bennett loves to throw the ball over the middle.
To open the corner from their own 42. Bennett's in trouble. Got away momentarily. Throws on the run. And it's intercepted. Picked off in the secondary by Alabama. And it's Daniel Wright. And another key mistake to open the fourth quarter for Georgia.
Stetson, hopefully you can hear me. Obviously, things unraveled in the second half. How did you see it for yourself in your game?
Just didn't play well enough. Got to figure out how to not get batted balls. Got to figure out how to not throw interceptions. Got to figure out how to score points in the second half.
Stetson Bennett threw the ball 40 times for Georgia. If you told me that, I would have told you Alabama's probably had a pretty good night against Georgia, and they did. And listen, I'm going to go back. I don't do the whole I told you so thing because we get stuff wrong here just like anyone else does. But we have been adamant, and we have not been deterred by a lot of the criticism in the comment section about our opinion of Stetson Bennett. I got one, you got one, that's fine. But we have backed ours up, and I've backed mine up with, I think, pretty logic-based reasoning. And the reasoning is simply this. It's not hating on the guy. I love Stetson Bennett. I'd love for him to run for president and get elected one day. Stetson Bennett has never been and will not be at any point this year a quarterback capable of winning an SEC title at Georgia.
Tempo again here.
Zamir White, no, it's Stetson Bennett who takes it in. After all that, the mailman cashes in with a 2-yard touchdown run.
Maybe that was Eddie Grand there, but this is the most important drive here of the entire game for Kentucky's defense.
Stetson Bennett's got the ball in his hand. Finally gets rid of it, and they got plenty of room on the sideline. James Cook got in front of everybody, including the football, and it goes for 45 yards.
And that's exactly what can't happen if you're Kentucky. Get ready.
Stetson Bennett looking to set up a wide receiver screen. It's batted up, and it's intercepted. Phil Hoskins. You laid it out early. The 6'5" Hoskins got his hands on it and took it away to snuff this Georgia drive.
And it happened last week against Alabama with Stetson Bennett.
4-man rush. Bennett pulls it back. Now he unloads, and he's intercepted. Calvin Joseph with the pick. And it's another takeaway for Kentucky. Interception number 11 on the season for these Cats.
If, however, Florida does pull it off, here's what I'm thinking if I'm a Georgia fan. How in the world do we have 2 losses, and we're not even in mid-November yet? That's the first thing I would think. Already 2 losses, so our goals are out the window. Secondly, we'll never have a better defense than this under Kirby Smart, and we just wasted it. We're not even going to play in Atlanta with an all-time defense because we couldn't get our act together at quarterback, and we couldn't get things figured out offensively.
Bennett. Down the middle. On the run, DeMarcus Crosby St. John, and he's got the touchdown. Hurt at the end, I think.
Maybe the receiver and the quarterback took one. It was a late, disguised safety blitz. He was free for Florida, but he didn't get there. He was so deep on the play, he never got there. That was the breakdown. Yeah, he took one right on that shoulder when he threw that ball. You could see it. He winced after he got up. Now, how good is it?
Trying to work it out a little bit. And they're going to check him as well. As you see one more look at the hit after he delivered the pass.
And thus you never know about these. Okay, some of them it's a sting and it goes away, and then I've had some where it just keeps getting worse, you know, and then all of a sudden you can't really lift your arm up. Playing the guitar a little bit for the touchdown. Exactly.
The strings were a little tight on that.
That's right.
Banjo.
And sometimes it just doesn't get better.
Bennett fires incomplete. Nice job defensively. Jalen Johnson was the intended receiver. And now we'll start to watch Bennett. He's still working that arm, Gary.
Yes,
Even
he is.
After he throws, he's kind of still loosening it up or trying.
Been there. You go, just keep me out there, Coach. And it's one of the things that you can always go, let me keep throwing, Coach. So I think he felt it when he actually cut that ball loose that time. Now remember, one of the reasons he's in there is he manages the whole offense, all the checkoffs, getting him in the right formation. So he's an important player besides throwing the ball.
And now he's going to have to cover the ball if he can. They came with an all-out blitz. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, but he just drops the snap here. This was a good snap. We've seen bad snaps, but this was a perfect snap, and he's fortunate he's able to get it before he was tackled by Dunlap.
And he didn't need to take another hit.
No,
either,
he didn't, but you got to get the ball.
Yeah, right. For Florida.
And Bennett's, did he go to the tent or did he go inside? But you can tell that thing is still bothering him. I think he's going to go into the locker room.
Let's go to Jamie.
He did pop into the tent, guys, but now he is jogging to the locker room. He seems most aggravated by his collarbone, if I had to say anything.
Tony brought down, gain of 1, and a nice play by Tyreek Stevenson. As you see the Georgia starting quarterback still even moving his neck side to side as he heads to the locker room. And that will mean that either JT Daniels or Dwan Mathis. And Mathis warming up, so is Daniels. There's those two guys going to be one of those, it appears, the next time Georgia has the football.
So they started out, things are going well for Stetson. He has a couple of runs, but on this touchdown throw, the free safety is running right at him off the slot. He doesn't realize how bad it is at first, but then he says, I got it kind of jammed there, and the more he threw, the more he felt it.
Jamie?
I wanted to add on that, Gary, that you're right. As he stood on the sideline, people started to tend to that injury. It did seem to get worse. He popped into the tent. Like I said, several trainers have come in and out of the locker room now. Stetson, still no sign of him.
One is to look at the shin, too, not just the knee.
After review, it was determined that the runner was down at the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd down from that spot.
And Stetson Bennett grabbing his helmet as he's come out of the Georgia locker room and still working that right arm and shoulder.
You know, before I'd let him in the game, I'd say, let me see you throw a few here.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I mean, whatever happened in there, you might feel good, but I want to see you throw a few before I put you in the game.
Hasn't had a ball batted down yet, but he's had a lot of that this year so far. He's going to throw on the run here, and it's too high. Intended for Burton. Incomplete, 4th down.
You're right. It was good patience. Nice job by Bennett. Work his way up in the pocket. That buys him an extra couple seconds. Protection's okay, but he knows he has to get out of there. And when he comes up, he finds the open player and just lets it sail by.
Yep, he knew it too. He had him open. Would have been a big gainer and a 1st down. 2nd down and 10. Bennett going to go deep middle. Man out there. Just overshot Kearis Jackson.
Had an opportunity. You got to make a couple of those throws. This is one where this time Florida busts. No safety in the middle of the field, and you got a chance for a huge play, and we saw that in the Alabama game. He overthrew a guy deep down there, and this time he does it again. A play that is a touchdown cannot be made.
Bennett has time, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kair Elam.
I think Jalen Johnson, number 83, slipped and fell, but it may be because the throw was behind him on the play. Squaring, man-to-man. Yes, poor throw. He tries to adjust to it. The ball wasn't thrown in front of the receiver. He's got a big window to throw the football into. He throws it behind, and the receiver cannot save the play. Bad throw from your quarterback.
Bad result for Georgia. Good for Florida with a 20-point lead in the ball back.
There's a big play for the defense, but I think Kirby Smart's going to make a change at quarterback. You see Stetson Bennett going, I know, I understand. Kirby has been great with Stetson. Through the mistakes, he's been positive with him. He's his quarterback, but, you know, we've all gone through these games. You make some mistakes, somebody else is going to get in the game. I give Kirby a lot of credit. When he brought him aside, he told him what's going to happen. I got to bring in number 2, and Stetson said, I know, I understand.
In the meantime, what do you do? What do you do? Do you sit there and just make the same criticism every week? Because I can tell you right now, the same as I told you about Stetson Bennett early on. You remember, a lot of you remember, you've been silent now, but a lot of you who were all in our DMs, when you said we were hating on Stetson Bennett, we weren't hating on anybody. That kid's not an SEC championship caliber quarterback. It was plain as day back then. It's clear now. It's as clear now as it was back then. I don't know why people tried to convince themselves of otherwise, but the hope back then was you had the JT Daniels ace in the hole. You had it in your back pocket, and at any point, Kirby's pulling it out. He's not close to going in. He's not close to being ready to play. And I wouldn't count on it happening. That's not inside information, mind you. It's not something I've heard in the last 24 hours. It's just context clues. I don't know if you noticed, they had to go to their backup quarterback yesterday. It wasn't JT Daniels. It was Dwan Mathis. Whatever you want to make of that, make of it. But I will say this. When you watch Mathis go in, I think it's pretty obvious why Bennett had been the guy starting. So he being Kirby, has been starting the best option he has. He just doesn't have options. Do you know how helpless that probably feels? You can say it's his fault or not, but that's what they have to play with.
This as the Bulldogs open a new era, as JT Daniels will get the start under center for the Georgia Bulldogs tonight. I think folks around these parts have been waiting for his appearance, and it's finally here.
In just one night, JT Daniels threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns against Mississippi State, bringing Georgia to a win single-handedly, which in an offense in which Georgia has not seen in multiple years in the passing game at least. And Stetson Bennett was back to square one. He lost his starting job, and JT Daniels was single-handedly in the driver's seat for that starting job for at least the rest of the 2020 season. And with his performance tonight against Mississippi State, there was not much hope that Stetson would be able to get the starting job back for himself during the offseason.
There is no prayer they win that game. Let me slow it down again, because this is a sentence again, couldn't believe I'd be saying it last week. There is no prayer that Georgia is beating Mississippi State without JT Daniels. He's what worked. He's all that worked. I mean, there was a money drive, and a lot of you know what I'm talking about if you watch the game. There was a drive in the fourth quarter of this game when they were trying to take the lead where Daniels, I counted him making 4 throws better on that one drive than I've seen any quarterback make for Georgia all year. In fact, I'll take it a step further. There were 4 throws on that drive alone he made that no quarterback on their roster is capable of making.
JT Daniels would finish the 2020 season as Georgia's starter, going 3-0 through their last 3 games against South Carolina on the road, Missouri on the road, and beating a top 10 Cincinnati team in the Peach Bowl with a last-second field goal by Jack Podlesny. Going into 2021, JT Daniels was looked at as the slam dunk starter for Georgia as they would face off against a top 5 Clemson team in Charlotte for the Week 1 game for that year. And JT Daniels, he didn't do well, which neither offense did. There was only 1 touchdown scored in this game, and it was a defensive pick 6 by Georgia when Christopher Smith picked off DJ Uyunglele. And the defense really smothered Clemson all night, gaining 7 sacks off of Clemson's offensive line and DJ Uyunglele. And JT Daniels, he had an interception, and besides that, it was really hampered by the receiver injuries that Georgia had. They lost George Pickens early in the offseason. Darnell Washington was injured as well. Jermaine Burton was not completely healthy. Neither was Dominic Blaylock or Kieris Jackson. So Georgia was looking at having backup receivers and a lot of true freshmen playing on offense, which hampered the offensive production.
The plan was to start Carson Beck, but Daniels is pushing to play now. Oh, what about the deal for Georgia and the offense coming off that with JT a little nicked up?
I get he's pushing to play, and I get you want to play. That, as a player, you're a competitor, you should. But now it's the coach's responsibility to protect him. You could tell JT Daniels was a little bit banged up against Clemson. Protect him. They're playing UAB, who's a good team. They're a really good team. They're not what you are. I think they need to play Carson Beck, lean on the running game. And by the way, see what you got, because you might be in this situation later on. If the obliques are already bothering you as a quarterback, it could bother you throughout the whole year.
Yeah. Big news for Georgia. What's up?
It's been a week of quarterback intrigue. Until we see it, I'm not sure if we should believe it. JT Daniels dealing with an oblique injury this week. His practice time this week was limited, and in pregame he came out at 2 o'clock and threw aggressively. Gave the thumbs up. Well, all signs point to JT being the starter. Not so fast. I talked to Kirby Smart. moments ago. He said JT is cleared to play, but enter Stetson Bennett. And there he is. Stetson Bennett, folks, will start in this ball game. Not quite sure who the backup is, Carson Beck or JT Daniels.
Bennett back to pass, taking a shot up top, wide open. Explosive play, finally. Touchdown, Dogs. Burton. Robert, it didn't take long. Bennett to pass. McIntosh with a great catch. Touchdown, Georgia. Their own 12. The worst starting field position of the afternoon. And wide open. Room service to Bowers. And the freshman is off. Foot race. They're looking at shoe bottoms and nothing else. Last week in that impressive win against Clemson. Taking a shot again. Bennett slings it wide open. Catch by Smith. Room service. Touchdown. Explosive play. That's straight dynamite. 61 yards. Looks right. Fires. Touchdown. Bowers again. Ties their off-field endeavors. He's going to take off. He's looking like cash right there. Stetson Bennett, money, 20-yard gain.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does always seem like I'm, fighting for my supper. But I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous. I couldn't eat pregame meal. Because I guess I say I don't, care about what other people think, but I don't really. But I was nervous. I was like, I need to play well today, and I prepared, like I had to, and then it helps when you got Jermaine Burton running down the field on the second play to get all the jitters out.
Well, Sean, head coach Kirby Smart told me moments ago that JT Daniels will start at quarterback for Georgia, but Stetson Bennett will see playing time in the first half, saying they both earned the right to play. He said his message to Daniels ahead of the game was play within the offense. Don't look over your shoulder and try to do too much. And he said that Daniels is really eager to play. He says he's 100% and has no limitations from that oblique injury.
So Stetson Bennett, after the play fake, threw too high, and it's intercepted. Jalen Foster brings it back inside the 15-yard line. So interesting that with the offense clicking, with JT Daniels marching him up and down the field, they put Bennett in the game, and his first pass is too high, way too high for Brock Bowers.
After this interception, Stetson would see very limited playing time through the rest of the South Carolina game and be relegated to backup duty against Vanderbilt, only getting in when Georgia was up 35-0. He played fine against Vanderbilt, having a turnover and a couple of stalled drives, but at this point, it seemed once again Stetson was back to being the backup to JT Daniels, and it seemed Stetson's starting time at Georgia was over, but once again, something would come up that would give Stetson Bennett another wind.
Quarterback health, a major plot line here. Both regular starting quarterbacks dealing with pain management. And it looks like for Georgia, JT Daniels is not going to be able to go. Dealing with an injury to his right lat muscle. Throwing is painful. Didn't take any reps in Thursday's practice. And about an hour before the game, you can see the grimace as he tried to throw. But it looks like it's going to be Stetson Bennett the fourth. Number 13. The former walk-on who came back to Georgia as a scholarship player, getting the nod today. But now Kirk Street, it is the Stetson Fleming Bennett the fourth show. And I know you like this quarterback. You like his moxie and his skill set.
I do. I think moxie's a great word for him, and he's got some experience. I mean, he's played not only against Arkansas last year, but also, you're talking about a quarterback that has played against Alabama when they went to Tuscaloosa last year. So I don't think he's going to be intimidated by what he sees. In fact, he plays with a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
White through traffic into the end zone. Opening statement drive by Georgia. right down the field to draw first blood.
This is during our break. I love to see this. Stetson Bennett not only leads them down to a touchdown, the opening drive, he goes right over to Justin Robinson, who had that drop, and just says, hey, man, shake it off. We're good. This is early in the game. We're going to go right back to you. Shows his leadership.
McIntosh is now the back. Clean pocket for Bennett. Lofts it downfield for the running back, who makes the catch and is knocked out inside the 5. That's the skill set of the junior from Fort Lauderdale. Second and goal, I formation. Milton, and he just follows. Oh, they lost the ball. And he's in the end zone for a Georgia touchdown. All that beef. Not much Arkansas could do about it. And Georgia, 2 touchdown drives behind a powerful running game, sprinkled in with the occasional pass, but they have been pure power in the first quarter with Bennett at quarterback.
Hey, Stetson, just kind of a quick flashback. I guess it was Arkansas opener last year where you got pressed into action and blew the Razorbacks up. How different of a quarterback are you now than that version of you we saw at that opener last year?
A lot different. I mean, it was, so much more sure, so much more control over the offense, more knowing what the defense is going to do, knowing what what Coach Monken's thinking in specific situations. Just a much better football player.
Stetson, I'm wondering if you, with your in your conversations with JT at all, did he express to you how much discomfort he's in, and also, if any, his level of frustration having to miss these games?
I can't speak on JT.
Yeah, the last few weeks, the question surrounding Georgia has been, who is going to be their starting quarterback? Well, your answer, yet again, is Stetson Bennett. JT Daniels still dealing with that grade 1 lat strain that kept him out of last week's game against Arkansas. On Thursday, he threw roughly 60 passes in practice, and Coach Smart told me, last thing I want to do is to push the envelope here. As you can see, both quarterbacks were warming up pregame, and guys, I'm told that Daniels could be used in an emergency situation, but it's Bennett getting his 3rd start this season.
Beautiful play.
Move the change, and Bennett is going to stay in the air. Going a deep ball. He's got separation. Perfect placement. Brock Bowers, the tight end, just making plays every week. 2nd and 11 to start this second quarter. Bennett escapes. Makes one juke. Bennett still on his feet and gets popped just short. Smoke Monday came in like a bullet, and a flag is thrown. Gain of 25. Play action and plenty of time. Bennett airs it out. Plenty of separation as well, and it's complete. Ladd McConkey down the field sets up 1st and goal. D. Mitchell on the outside. Milton, the running back. They will throw it. Fires. Hold in. A.D. Mitchell. Touchdown, Georgia.
Just a beautiful angle route. He starts in on a hard charging slant.
Stetson Bennett was slinging it all over the field prior. He will go to the air to start this one. And dial up the deep ball. McConkey is open, and McConkey is gone. Touchdown, Georgia. The mailman delivers. You blink, you might miss it. Ferris Bueller would be proud. Quick strike. McConkey streaking downfield for 6 more. And the Dogs in full control in Auburn. Bennett keeps lots of open space. Bennett into the secondary. Look out, and he's tripped up from behind. What a play call.
Flex on him, Stetson.
JT Daniels, who would have been the starting quarterback, or was for the first 3 games of the season before the injury. And that's number 13 show.
And on Thursday we were out there, he was lightly throwing.
Yep. Stetson Bennett to throw. Fires a slant to Cook across the middle. Touchdown. Walking in. Georgia leads.
Nice design play. Kentucky shifts the running back, so there's, instead of 2 receivers, there's 3 receivers.
Circled. Here they come. Georgia picks it up brilliantly again. Here's the long ball. McConkey. No, it's Bowers, and he's got it. Touchdown, Georgia.
At the start of this season, who thought the key players would be Bowers, Bennett, and McConkey?
Well, if you remember the Atomic Dog music from back in the 70s. We got a little bit of that going on right here. Stetson Bennett says, I don't remember that at all, but I do like my tight end. It's 21-7. Milton comes back in now. Bennett throws, completes it to Fitzpatrick. Perfect throw, and Fitzpatrick stuck it in there. Another tall tight end who just snatched it away from the defender. One of those three tailbacks used today. They fake it to him. Bennett's going to loft it. Bowers has got it. Touchdown, Georgia again to the tight end. The moment's never too big for him. I guess not. Stetson Bennett, 8-2 as a starter for Georgia. He's led him to this point, and he'll, at least for the beginning of the game, take. They fake it to him. Cox giving chase on Bennett. Bennett's going to take off on his own. Stetson Bennett inside the 10.
That was beautiful. I think 3 tight ends were on the field for Georgia on the play.
Matchup with Georgia, ranked number 1. Bennett off play action. Lobs it. Darnell Washington rumbling down the sideline. The big fella's got it all the way down around the 35.
Well, Georgia and Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, tried to give the wheel route. It was covered. So, good job by Stetson Bennett. Comes to his secondary receiver. The tight end coming across. Good quarterback play that time by Bennett.
Wants to throw again on first down. Airs it far side. This is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Torrance.
Boy, followed by bad quarterback play.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly the look right there. I don't know what he thought he had here. Completely covered on the play. He's throwing it. There's no leverage at all. The Florida player is actually 4 yards deeper than the tight end on the play. Not a chance in the world to complete that.
If Dorrance doesn't get it, the other Gator gets it.
Exactly.
Richardson runs all the way again. This time he gets a little room to breathe. Still going with no whistle, I guess. And the ball came out at the end. Georgia's got it. Nolan Smith is in the end zone. Georgia touchdown.
But in that process, as you guys said,
recovered by Georgia. When the player recovered the fumble, his knee was down at that spot. It'll be first down Georgia at that spot.
James Cook with Bennett in the backfield. Gets the carry. James Cook gets the touchdown, Georgia. Boy, what a costly turnover.
Stop right here.
Georgia has 3 timeouts remaining. Delayed blitz by Nakobe Dean. And another interception. This one's Nolan Smith. Back-to-back huge plays for number 4. Down. Play fake. Bennett loads. Going deep to the end zone. Kearis Jackson has got it. .36 yards in the corner of the end zone. Backfield accepts Anthony Richardson.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and it's intercepted by Nakobe Dean. Goodbye. Dean is gone. Touchdown, Georgia.
So Stetson Bennett plays this whole game at quarterback for Georgia. I am convinced that there is more than meets the eye here. Because last week, I had it on pretty good word we were going to see JT Daniels in this game, and I'm not the only one. Some people very close to that team had it on good authority that at the very least we were going to see 2 quarterbacks. I thought we'd end up seeing Daniels take a majority of the snaps, and instead we didn't see it at all, which has convinced me that he's not 100% healthy or 90% healthy. He is not at a level that they feel good enough putting him on the field for. I'm going to choose to believe that, because if the alternative is true, then I'm telling you point blank, it's a borderline dereliction of duty on Kirby Smart and Todd Monken's part. So you're not going to convince me that they have looked at things, assessed the situation, and said, we're going to put our second best quarterback on the field. Because I do not believe with both of them at or near full health, that Stetson Bennett is the best quarterback on that team.
That feeling of having a newly minted CFP #1 next to your team's name. Georgia fans have watched their impenetrable defense lock up a trip to the SEC championship game quick as could be. But these dedicated dogs are thinking far beyond Atlanta. Is this the season that makes 41 years of waiting all worth it? It just may be. And today they try to take that next step on the path.
He might miss a throw or two that JT Daniels would make, but the mobility, being able to keep defenses honest, is why he's the starting quarterback today and will remain the starting quarterback until Kirby Smart feels as though they need to get into a throw-a-thon.
4th and 5. And call it 6 here. Bennett, a little bit of pressure. He wants more than just the first down. He wants the end zone, and Arian Smith gets it for him. 35-yard touchdown, Stetson Bennett to the speedy Arian Smith on 4th down. That's the way you strike.
One football players, I want no part of it.
Bennett, look at the time, look at the opportunity downfield, and look at the results. Jermaine Burton. Touchdown Dogs, 47 yards.
Not doing it here.
Bennett, totally in command here in the 2-minute drill. Running out of options, goes cross the grain, and down near the goal line is Burton, and they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line for the second time in this first half. Bennett quickly to Burton. Burton inside the 5 and into the end zone. Now Burton was knocking on the door enough in the first half with 2 catches that were put down at the 1-yard line. This time he crosses the goal line, 12-yard touchdown.
Bennett flushed out of the pocket. He can run, and he does, and he's got the first down. Goes down to the 43-yard line, and that's the added advantage that he gives this Georgia offense. Right now, and has the lead on the top team in the land. Bennett takes off on the run, and he gets the first down. Put a little move on out there in the middle of the field. Nobody to fake it to for Bennett, so he's going to run with it. Stetson Bennett, touchdown, Georgia. What a play. 9-yard touchdown run by Stetson Bennett. Bennett loads, goes that way to the corner. Got it. Touchdown. Gary called it. Bennett threw it. Cook caught it. 23 yards for the Bulldogs score. Picked the #1 team in the country for homecoming, but they do that a long time ago. Here's Bennett on the RPO and the keeper, and he's got the first down before he's driven down by Trayvon Flowers.
Is he looking to lateral that ball?
Hey guys, when I spoke with UGA quarterback Stetson Bennett, he told me the thing he hated most about last year was that they didn't get a senior day because of COVID. Well, he got that chance today. And as for whether or not he'll decide to return next year, he said he did have those conversations with Coach Kirby Smart this week.
Lobbing one to the end zone and dropping it right down the chimney is Stetson Bennett to Jermaine Burton for the touchdown.
Screen out to the edge to Ladd McConkey. He's looking for the pylon, and he is there. Touchdown. Only a 3-man rush on 2nd and 10. There's the slant to Brock Bowers. Look at the tight end go! An extra gear for the freshman. Touchdown. Wow. They'll go there. Bowers climbs the ladder. He's got another touchdown. That is a true freshman tight end who can be a matchup nightmare.
What a way to set the scene. As we welcome you to the SEC Championship on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper. Our matchup, the best in the East, the best in the West. Comes in on the left side, safety blitz coming. Pass is incomplete, and that would have been a pick six for Jordan Battle had he held it.
Safety blitz, aggressive, coming right at Stetson Bennett. And you're right, Ness. Pick six all the way.
Bennett wants to go deep. Does. And caught by Burton. I beg your pardon, it's Pickens. Bennett lofts it. Caught. Darnell Washington, touchdown.
His first of the year touchdown. That's his 9th catch. And this is basically an alley-oop.
Here comes a blitz. Bennett. And he threw it behind Cook, who had an opening there. Toe was covering him. That was just not a good throw. And a ball pops up in the air. Alabama's got it.
I just wonder if this is going to be whistled. Is this going to be whistled before the snap?
False start. Offense. Not all 11 players were set for a full second. 5-yard penalty. Remains.
That's the best penalty Georgia has ever had.
Ever.
Yeah.
So harmlessly, it's 2nd down and 10. Fake the pass to McIntosh. Bennett puts the brakes on and threw an interception. DeMarco Hellams. Pass intended for Bowers. There's the mistake Georgia didn't need. Final play of the quarter. Full-out blitz. Bennett lobs one. Nobody home. Incomplete.
Boy, that's a big gamble by Kirby on that play.
Bennett throws. It's intercepted. Picked off, and this might be a touchdown. Battle is in for the Tide.
Bryce Young showed you what a superstar, what a Heisman caliber quarterback does when you have to throw out of necessity. Now, I want to back up again because it sounds like I'm trying to dunk on Stetson Bennett. I'm not. I'm not at all. Stetson Bennett is everything he's capable of being. Stetson Bennett's not capable of being what a lot of people hope he can be. And so I was talking to Dane, our camera guy, last night, and we were talking about it post-game. He said, man, I bet a lot of people are going to be hating on Stetson Bennett. And I said, you're right. They are. It's a shame they are because all a guy can give you is what he can give you.
I don't know. I mean, like I've said before, if you listen to them when they're telling you how good they are, then you're going to listen to them whenever they tell you how bad you are. And I don't really care what anybody else says. My job is to go out every single day, build chemistry with these guys, watch film enough to be prepared for when the game comes. And that's the only thing I'm worried about. You can't put any value on people who really have no clue what they're talking about talking. I wouldn't listen to myself if I was giving a speech on heart surgery. Not comparing football to heart surgery, but it's the same kind of gist. So why would I listen to somebody who doesn't do this for a living and just watches it happen? It really doesn't bother me. All I'm thinking about is beating Michigan and being the best quarterback I can be for my teammates.
On a flawless night in South Florida, the final football game of 2021, a tremendous matchup. The college football playoff semifinal at the Capital One Orange Bowl. It's something rare and special. The third ever meeting between the Michigan Wolverines, champions of the Big Ten, seeded number 2, and the Georgia Bulldogs. They practice with for 14 practices. Bennett under pressure, delivers downfield. It's Brock Bowers who goes high to make the catch, and the Dogs are threatening in the red zone. For the Wolverines is in there. On 1st and goal, Bennett to Bowers. And Brock Bowers scores, and Georgia draws first blood.
And have a balanced attack.
So Hawkins back in the game. Bennett play action on 1st down. Shows his scrambling ability. Escapes and weaves his way for a big gain down to the 26-yard line. Stetson Bennett is shifty in space, isn't he?
Just moving inside.
Bennett Has protection and launches downfield. It's caught by Cook. And he's wrestled down at the 15. The Miami native makes a huge play.
Georgia offense.
Bennett backpedals, scrambles, heaves downfield. It's caught. Jermaine Burton scores. And Stetson Bennett can do no wrong tonight in Miami.
And Stetson Bennett, somebody's feeling pretty good wearing 13 entire night.
Play action on third down. Bennett eludes the pressure and tries to scamper for a first down and weaves his way past the marker into Wolverine territory. On this third and short play, Dogs need one. Bennett looking to throw for it under pressure. Hammered, but he lofts it out to Cook, who collects it and sprints for a touchdown. What a homecoming night for James Cook. In frigid Indianapolis, two southern neighbors battle for the ultimate prize in college football. A rivalry that goes back a century and a quarter.
The liaison between the sideline and the field.
Bennett escapes. As open field, just dropped the ball. It bounced right back to him. But a jittery Bennett, very lucky not to lose the ball there. And they fake it to Bowers. Here's a downfield shot. George Pickens, a diving catch. As the elite receiver has waited a long time to make a play like that in the big game. Cook makes a cut. He's got blazing speed. James Cook in a foot race. Can the Tide track him down? They finally get him inside the 15. Battles save the touchdown, but the Dogs instantly threaten.
Side.
And Zeus White muscles in. The first touchdown of this championship game. And Georgia claims its first lead. Here comes the pressure. Bennett immediately on the run. He'll be chased down. Tries to make a desperation heave. Harris had him in the grasp. That ball nowhere near back to the line of scrimmage.
The ruling on the field stands. Alabama football at the 16-yard line.
Wow. So it's ruled a fumble, and although he didn't think it was going to be a fumble recovery, Ryan Branch by an inch keeps the toe in the field as he nonchalantly grabs the football. Pressure. Young. Touchdown! On the run, he found Latou. Tide's first touchdown, and Alabama reclaims the lead with 10:14 to play. Bennett on the move, looking downfield, launches and absolutely tackled on the play was Burton. Kyrie Jackson was beaten cold and perhaps saved the touchdown.
Pass interference, defense, number 6, 15-yard penalty.
It was a matter of time with his inexperience that they would give him that stutter and go, that double move.
Too much speed and power for a pretty good blocking tight end, Fitzpatrick. Now another flag. Bennett launching. Mitchell. Caught it. Touchdown, Georgia. With a free play, the Dogs retake the lead.
Offside, defense, number 50. That is the climb. Touchdown.
What a drive for Stetson Bennett. 40-yard touchdown to finish it. Play action. Bennett launches and it's incomplete. Overthrown for Pickens against McKinstry, and there's a flag down. Pickens wasn't going to get anywhere near the football.
Well, the reason he wasn't, McKinstry cut him off.
Pass interference, defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Bill, I don't know how you saw that. To me, McKinstry didn't allow Pickens to get around him. Short.
I don't like the spot at all. It's 3rd and 1. They're going to throw for it. Bowers has got it. He's got a blocker. Touchdown, Georgia. And here is a flag down, though. Hold on. There's a flag near the line of scrimmage. Bennett says it's on Bama.
I think they hit him. I think they hit Stetson Bennett after he released the football. Jordan Battle on a blitz came through and hit Stetson Bennett in the face.
Against Clemson.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 9, defense, The result of the play is a touchdown. That 15-yard penalty will be carried over to the ensuing kick.
Scored a late touchdown in a losing cause. Took him a long time, Kirk, tonight to get involved, but that is a massive play. Biggest third down in Bryce Young's career. You need 10. Play clock at 4. From the pocket, launching downfield, underthrown and intercepted. Keely Ringo has an escort down the sidelines. All the way to the end zone, and Georgia is going to conquer the Crimson Tide. The sweet irony not lost on the Georgia faithful. It was a pick six that doomed them in round 1 in Atlanta. And now a pick six has sealed it. And Keely Ringo, who plays for his mom, who's been battling breast cancer in recent years. She works hard to attend the games of her son. She was there at the SEC championship game, and look at the tears.
Oh, man. Yeah, let's just take that in right there. Good for 13, man. Good for Stetson Bennett.
In a spectacular season for the Heisman Trophy winner, this was not his finest moment. Without his main weapons, Kirk, he just tried to force a play.
Yeah, he's to the outside. The receivers to the outside. Bryce, he didn't get pressure, but I don't know if he's expecting a back shoulder throw or bringing Holden back, whatever it might have been. But unlike Kendrick, Ringo gets his eyes on the ball, and he sees that it's underthrown and adjusts back and makes that interception. As you said, he had a convoy in front of him. It wasn't just about securing this. And look at Kirby in the background. That's elevation. That was 38 inches right there by Kirby Smart.
We saw the speed earlier. There's the vertical jump.
Yeah.
Ringo, as a freshman, his first interception. Taken to the house, and a former defensive back. Very close now to delivering a national championship to his alma mater.
1980. Herschel Walker, Vince Dooley. It's the last time Georgia's won a national championship. We have Georgia fans in front of us. I can't imagine what's going on in the state of Georgia and Georgia Bulldog Nation all across the country and what they're feeling right now.
They have a watch party in Stegman Coliseum back in Athens. The party will quickly spill out into the streets of a very festive college town.
There's Bryce Young, who's had an amazing year as a Heisman Trophy winner in his first year as a starter. Just so many storylines. The way the game unfolded in the SEC championship. Georgia having to go back to work to try to get ready to beat Michigan, hope for a second chance, and they get it. And this kid right here, man, you got to, if you don't know his story, we've talked about it tonight, they could almost make a movie on Stetson Bennett and what he's been through, how nobody believed in him. You got to go back when he leaves to junior college. He comes to Georgia. They go get DeJuan Mathis as a 5-star. Jamie Newman transfers from Wake Forest. JT Daniels comes from USC. He's as far as you can see on the depth chart. His own fans never really bought into him being the guy. A lot of them wanted JT Daniels. He and his teammates are the only ones that believed he was the guy to be their quarterback. Plays with a chip on his shoulder.
And all that pent-up stuff. The emotion came flowing. He burst into tears as soon as he saw that pick six taken back by Ringo.
That'll get you, man. That'll get you. Look at that.
And then the pick six to seal it. And one more play for the Georgia defense. Georgia on the mountaintop. Demons be gone, and the drought is over. National champions at long last.
Stetson, when you were 3 years old, you told your dad you'd be the starting quarterback at Georgia. How does your resilience and your fight keep you in this moment ready to win right now?
I mean, I just knew there was going to be no way we were going to let a turnover like that stop us from winning a national championship. There's no way I wasn't going to let that happen. I wasn't going to be the reason we lost tonight.
After that turnover, you went 3 for 3 on the next drive. How did you get your mind turned quickly to that?
I had to. Otherwise, we were going to lose because they were up. they capitalized on that, and I was like, well, I gotta fix this.
So many times they tried to recruit over you. You thought about leaving, but you stuck around. Why?
Because I love this place. I love this team. I believe in myself. I think I'm the best quarterback. And, you know, I just love everything about this place, and I want to win a national championship here.
What does your story and your stick around, your fight, your attitude say to all of the underdogs, all of the walk-ons out there?
I mean, I have no clue. I hope it's, you know, give somebody a little hope. Just keep fighting, keep your mouth shut, work hard. You know, life's tough. You just got to fight through it.
What was the toughest moment that you went through, that you stuck through and came out the other end?
You know, just all the ups and downs, man. But these guys, I mean, God, I don't even know what to say right now. I have no idea.
You were crying on the sideline, so emotional.
Yeah.
How did that all bubble up within you?
It just hit me. I mean, it just hit me. I didn't even watch Keeley score. I thought he went down right when he caught it. Because as soon as he caught it, I just teared up. I just wasn't planning on it. I mean, good Lord. Wow.
You're national champion, Stetson. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
Chris, back to you.
A college football star from a small town in southeast Georgia is now in the national spotlight more than ever. Stetson Bennett can say, as of Monday night, he is on a national championship team.
Yeah, in case you have somehow not heard, he's the quarterback for the University of Georgia. He considers Blackshear home. News4Jax sports editor Justin Barney traveled to Pierce County today to speak with Bennett's mom and see where it all began for the local star.
The whole town's celebrating. I mean, the whole town was in on this.
The last 5 quarterbacks before Bennett to win a national championship reads like a list of who's who. Mac Jones, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. Where will Stetson Bennett's journey take him next? Friends and family in Blackshear said be ready for anything.
Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Stetson Bennett ain't going nowhere. Staying in Athens, he will return for his final season, looking to lead Georgia to back-to-back natties. Time, JT Daniels has entered the transfer portal.
Man who needs no introduction in this state, and he is ready for your questions.
Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Stetson, how seriously did you consider concluding your college football career after the national championship game, or going to play college football somewhere else? And what were the most important factors in your decision to come back to Georgia?
You know, you play the game to play the game, and you play the game to win and to compete against the best players. And if I'm secure enough to, I can look in the mirror, I wasn't going to get drafted high last year, right? So what was the guarantee that I was going to go start in the NFL last year? It was probably pretty low, or this next year, it was probably pretty low. And so this is the best conference in the country. You know, if we take care of business, you know, then we take care of business here. You're competing against the best players. You got the best players on your team, best coaches. It's the smartest league. So, you know, and I mean, I think it's the biggest honor in the world to be able to go out there with the G on the side of my helmet and my name on the back, and look at my brothers across from me and know that we're playing for the University of Georgia and for the state of Georgia and for Bulldog fans around the country. So it really wasn't that tough of a decision. You know, I love football. I love everything, most everything about it. And I love to compete, and that was, you know, more of a guarantee to compete here.
Georgia returns quarterback Stetson Bennett, national champion winner, but starting a season opener for the first time.
They come quickly to the line of scrimmage. Bennett under center. He fakes to Milton and walks into the end zone. Georgia went 92 yards. It was competitive. North Carolina was a very narrow favorite in that game. Stetson Bennett all day to throw. Now here comes a hit and a flag thrown on the hit. Bennett hung in there long enough to drill one for a first down to A.D. Mitchell, and I think they're going to tack more. Top 2 running backs. Here comes McIntosh, picking right up where they left off. Strange play fake. Bennett. Look out. Here comes a posse of Ducks. And it's a touchdown. Even when it looked like Bennett was in trouble, he got loose and McConkey scores again. First Pac-12 opponent Georgia has played during the Kirby Smart era. And a back shoulder throw and a catch and a touchdown. A.D. Mitchell.
Good coverage by Christian Gonzalez, but Gonzalez never knew where the football was. Never got his eyes on the ball till too late. Perfect placement by Stetson Bennett. And A.D. Mitchell uses that long frame to go up and high point the football for the touchdown.
Warren McClendon.
John Edwards, a fake to him. Bennett doesn't like what he sees. He's getting incredible protection. And McConkey gets open inside the 30. Again next to Bennett. It's Stetson himself. Touchdown, Georgia. Or for the Dogs on the doorstep. Fake to Dejan. Over the top. Touchdown, Dylan Bell.
Bennett pulls it down and takes off. Stetson Bennett inside the 5, lunging for the pylon. No signal yet. Now there is. Touchdown, Georgia.
Red zone.
They go to the other tight end, Brock Bowers.
Wow.
Touchdown. With fortune there. But Bowers is just too good. After the fake toss, Bennett got it off to Bowers for a first down.
What a play by Stetson Bennett. I mean, he sells the fake, so he's late getting his head and eyes around after the bootleg fake. Watch how long it takes him. Sells the fake. Now, when he gets it, there's somebody right there, and he has to instinctively get rid of the ball, and he throws it to the right guy. Brock Bowers, a depleted defense, loses another right now, and right to the work is Stetson Bennett.
Brock Bowers, after the play fake, showing his great athleticism. He's going to take it all the way for his 3rd touchdown of the game. 78 yards. With an MVP performance in the title game, national championship game against the Tide. Now he shows his running skills and weaves into the end zone. Not sure I'd want the quarterback running with a 31-0 lead, but it all works.
And Bennett down the field. This is underthrown, and it's picked off at the 5-yard line. That is Montre Miller. Country converting on this play, and they'll do it again as Bennett puts his foot in the dirt, and he gives himself up inside the 40. Now he lost the ball, but he was already down. It does, and now Bennett will take off, and there's a flag down as he dives for the end zone short with 8 seconds left.
Pressure coming up the middle. Bennett, pressure, sidesteps it, gets one man in the air, and goes down, and Missouri with a big stop on Georgia's first possession. On 3rd and 2. Ball on the ground, Missouri finds it. Another Georgia mistake, and the Tigers scoop it up. It's Dalen Carnell. Get 1. Tigers trying to bring pressure. And a fantastic grab for a Georgia first down by Dominic Blaylock. A gain of 18. Bennett keeps it, unloads. Here's the best tight end in the country, Brock Bowers.
Get man coverage here.
Only bring 4. Bennett has to run, and on the run, converts for a first down. That's Dylan Bell's first catch of the game.
Saw Bennett take his left hand off the ball, start his throwing motion, and broke right on that one.
Podlesny has already made from 40, this from 44. Dane Walker's snapper, and they're going to fake it. Bennett, the holder, will take off, and Georgia picks up the first down. Pressure cost them 2 plays ago. Now 2nd and 10. Bennett Complete on a tumbling catch by Marcus Jack Saint. A pickup of 15. Georgia's last win when trailing in the fourth quarter came against Cincinnati in the Peach Bowl in 21. They're just 5-10 under Kirby when trailing after 3 quarters. Bennett down the field. Darnell Washington got the ball and he delivered the hit. Man, he sent Charleston back 5 yards. Quickly to the line. Bennett will hand it off. Touchdown, Georgia. A plunge for Kendall Milton. Had just enough space. The Dogs an extra point away from a 3-point game. 4-man rush. Bennett has time. Caught at the 11-yard line. And a first down. It's Dominic Blaylock. Edwards. In. Touchdown, Georgia. And number 1 finally has the lead. Ball again. Movement by Missouri. They hand up on the sweep. This is Edwards, and he's got the first down. And Georgia's going to escape mid-Missouri with a win.
Oh, the build-up has been everything you can expect for Stetson Bennett and the rest of the Georgia Bulldogs. Brian Harsin, the head coach of Auburn, now he has been under the spotlight, to say the least, and he knows that his team is going to be spotlighted even more today at Sanford Stadium. More than 90,000 on hand this afternoon. The Home Depot is here on CBS.
Bennett drops back to pass, sets up in the pocket, it's collapsing, and he's wrapped up and taken down. He lost the football. Auburn recovers. Out of the pile comes Colby Wooden. He was in the backfield from the get-go. Hard line. Bennett, keep it himself, runs it right up the middle. Bennett inside Auburn territory. Bennett inside 25. He may be able to go inside the 5. Touchdown, Georgia.
Oh my. Rags to riches indeed.
Bennett steps up, throws, and it's complete. Bowers. And Bowers dives forward. Bennett has dealt wide open. He's got a first down, so he got the yards back.
What's the term? An embarrassment of riches?
Told us that your first start against Auburn 2 years ago, you were nervous, out there looking confident. Do you feel like there was any of those nerves coming into this one?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what it is. I think we got to talk and just figure out. We got to get our moxie back a little bit. But we'll figure that out this week.
Okay, looking ahead, you guys win another SEC game. How does this propel you to what you guys have for your goals this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's Auburn, Georgia, right? I mean, 1896. It's historic, you know. Always love playing these guys. Happy for the win. We're going to celebrate it, and then tomorrow on to Vandy.
All right, let's get down to it. One of our favorite segments. It's a Monday staple. It's low-hanging fruit. Coobs, kick it off.
All right, low-hanging fruit starting off after the weekend here. First one, Stetson Bennett hasn't thrown a touchdown in 2 games, and now the SEC East is wide open.
And the plays have been there. You go back and watch the tape versus Auburn, and it's inches. It's a decision to cut a football back into unblocked defenders if you press the hole. It's a bad ball out to the edge. Stetson Bennett talked about it. They're still completing almost 70% of his passes, but it's been a combination of drops and comfort with the wide receiving core.
It's McIntosh going to the top of your screen. That's where Bennett will throw it. McIntosh makes a move. Touchdown, Georgia. Start faster, check. Score a touchdown in the first quarter, check. In the touchdown pass drought, check. Georgia does all of it in the first drive. Comes in, Bennett fakes it to him, throws off the back foot. He's got a wide open receiver, and it's caught inside the 20 by Dominic Blaylock. Fielded that like a punt. To Bobo as we speak. Bennett, good ball, and it's another touchdown pass, this time to Dominic Blaylock.
Defensive possession of the game. Stetson Bennett
Gonna go deep near sideline. Got it. Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Maybe it's an interception. That's what Florida's saying. I thought Georgia had it.
I thought
right there.
He comes down with it. Before he got down, I think it was ripped away on defense.
First down from the 17. Bennett pump fakes one way and lofts it for Washington.
Man.
And he short arm that one.
Can't throw it any better than that if you're Stetson Bennett, can you?
I don't think the environment and the atmosphere in Sanford Stadium this Saturday, as great as it's going to be, I don't think it's going to do a number on Tennessee, only because I think the kind of offense they run sort of limits a crowd's ability to impact them.
The perimeter of one of college football's grand stages. Meticulously sculpted wall of Chinese privet between the hedges. But the famous Flora has never framed a game like the one that will unfold on Vince Dooley Field today. Tennessee, the Big Orange, flies in at warp speed, #1 in the CFP. The reigning national champion Georgia, #1 in the AP poll at Rare 1 versus 1 showdown. Athens juiced for a game of mythological proportions. And it's a huge day in the SEC. Baton Rouge has the after party. There are road traps in the top 10. Big Orange may be the darling of the moment, but the champs might remind them exactly who's that coming down the track.
Good morning, Athens!
Big games, and then there are epic clashes. In the modern era, in major ranking services, we've only had 3 1-versus-1 games. 1966, Michigan State, Notre Dame. 2019, LSU, Alabama. And today, in Athens, Tennessee, #1 in the college football playoff rankings, and Georgia, #1 in the AP poll. Volunteers tied for 2nd in the AP poll with Ohio State. So we got 1-versus-1, 1-versus-3, 1-versus-2. Huge day in Athens. So glad to have you with us. The calendar's turned to November. Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Pat McAfee, Kirk Herbstreit. Lee Corso is still recuperating. Looking forward to getting him back. I talked to LC this week, and I said to him, what can we do for you? Okay. He said, go kill him on Saturday. And I think we can do that with a game like this. Pat, Kirby Smart said, if you leave this stadium and you still have a voice, you didn't yell enough.
Yeah, and I love that, because as soon as I got to Athens town, the only thing I really wanted to say to these beautiful people is, Who's that coming down the track? It's the Mean Machine in the red and black. Ain't nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Go Dogs! Go Dogs! I mean, that's wild. There's a lot of adults in khakis. There's a lot of very sophisticated people that graduated from Georgia and do that every single Saturday, and they've been doing that all season as the national champions. And this is the first game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge for them. And if they lose, it's essentially an elimination game. But that was a lot of fun.
We've got a dog fight. That's right. Smokey, the old blue tick hound, and Uga.
Look at Uga's face.
Desmond, who's going to win this thing?
I just love dogs, and Smokey is right here next to me. So for this dog fight, I'm going with Smokey and the Tennessee Volunteers. Let's go, Smokey. Such a pretty dog. Look at Smokey.
Oh no! I'm doing a dog.
Come on, man. Look at Smokey, bro.
He's beautiful.
I know. I wish I could take him home.
Uga too.
Yeah.
You know, this show, we went to Knoxville for the Florida game, and I picked Florida.
You did.
And Tennessee won.
Yes, you did.
Then we went to Knoxville again. A couple weeks later, they played Alabama, and I picked Alabama,
sure
and Tennessee
did.
won. And everyone's telling me on Twitter, make sure you pick Georgia to win.
Right.
Guess what?
What?
I'm picking Tennessee.
The jinx is here.
The jinx is in.
The jinx is in.
I apologize from the heart. From the heart.
Can I change my super dog now?
Here you go. Too late.
Oh, man. Come on.
This is my first time in Athens, and I'm going to say this place is
Isn't it glorious?
absolutely beautiful.
There it is. There it is.
We had a little drizzle earlier, and you know where I come from. Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, whiskey makes.
He forgot the lyrics.
Feel a little. No, they make whiskey in Tennessee. So I think the rain is making the whiskey, that's being drank all over. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Give me the Volunteers, Luke Bryan. Sorry about it, Uga. Tennessee, a team of destiny in Luke Bryan's face.
Chill out, Flair. Ric Flair, channeling Flair. Georgia guy, Ric Flair. Listen, we're going to step on their faces.
All right.
We're going to crush their dreams with a hobnail boot. It's all dogs. I called my guy in Vegas. I went heavy in Vegas on my dogs. 8 points don't scare me. Keely Ringo. Go. Dogs win big. The great Luke Bryan.
Terrific morning here in Athens. We'll see if the dogs are able to bark and step on their face with a hobnail boot or Tennessee's dream season. Can you give him some sugar in there, Luke? Give him a little kissy. There you go.
Matchup. Now it's the present. Georgia has won 5 straight in this series. We've had some pop-up showers at times, but a light wind in 77 right now. Sanford Stadium has been on this plot of soil for 93 years. This is the biggest game that's ever been played here. You ready?
Can't wait.
Let's do it. Paxton Brooks to kick as Tennessee won the toss and the throw. High short kick. Dejon Edwards. Oh man, he took a shot at the 20, but he bounced out to around the 23-yard line.
In a yard.
And again, Georgia going hurry up. Down the, oh man. Almost intercepted by Jeremy Banks.
Tried to go play action pass, and how do you throw a low ball to the tallest guy in the field, Darnell Washington?
Tennessee thinking about a blitz. Edwards trying to bounce it offside, and the ball is out. Tennessee almost had it, and Bennett. Wait a minute, he still might. Tennessee's got it. Bennett got on top of it, and then it scooted out of there, and Tamarian McDonald has got it. Beginning of the year, Jalen Hyatt has become that due to Tillman's injury. And flags fly before the snap.
I think it was the tight end fan, or inside Carvin.
Ball start, offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Tennessee's a 50% third down team as well. Hooker down the middle, broken up. Georgia breaks it up with a flag. Smile Munden is the guy that was defending, but let's wait and see about the penalty.
I didn't know. Prior to the snap, there was no play. Ball start, offense.
So that's two of them already.
5-yard penalty, remains third down.
And that gets in your head after a while as an offense.
Dan McConkey in tight on the left side as Bennett drops to throw. Gonna air it out. Man out there, and it's caught. Arian Smith. Big play for the Dogs. The speedster, number 11. Around the 3. Bennett, pressure coming. Got away from one man, and now he's going to tuck it and go with it. Got the first down. He might have the touchdown.
It was in this game a year ago that Stetson Bennett showed his legs the extra dimension. A free blitzer, and that's a touchdown. His foot was in bounds. He hit the pylon as he got hit. And that's going to be a touchdown.
They did not call it a touchdown on the field, but I'm with Gary.
I don't think he is personally.
The ruling is touchdown. The runner was inbound, the firm control the ball when he touched the pylon.
On this play, Tennessee substituted. Oh no, another penalty by this Tennessee offensive line.
Mincy, the left tackle, jumps.
Ball start, offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's 3 right there.
You got it. Holding 3 fingers up, and we both saw the same thing.
Dejon Edwards behind Stetson Bennett, who's under center with Brock Bowers, the motion man. Play fake. Bennett loads it. Fires to the end zone. McConkey, touchdown. 1 play, 6 more points for Georgia. Bennett gonna go deep again. Kenny McIntosh out of the backfield and on the run. All the way down inside the 15. Another chunk play.
It's called the wheel route. Kenny McIntosh is their best their running back receiver.
Bennett looks left, goes high. Touchdown. Rosamie Jack Saint in the very back of the end zone.
See if you got 1 foot down.
You got 2 foot down.
All you need. And you're taught when you throw the ball to the end zone, just keep it just under the crossbar.
Marcus Rosamie Jack Saint doing a little dance over there on the bench. First, Stetson Bennett. He's got some moves as well. Second touchdown pass for him. It's 21-3. 3 passing touchdowns a game. Georgia's
another one.
5 all year.
Another penalty. That's 4 pre-snap penalties.
Ball start, offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
And this offensive line for Tennessee is a veteran bunch.
Yeah, they are.
This is really, I know they played at LSU. That's an 11 a.m. game. This is a much louder atmosphere for this Tennessee offense.
Third down and 7.
So there's
another flag.
There is nothing that Georgia is showing.
Number 20, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
For 3 years, when you turn on tape against Georgia, their defensive line has a late shift. It's been gone over and over and over again with this offensive line, and they forced another penalty.
And the rain is pretty heavy, as a matter of fact, right now.
Trying to get those tackles for loss. Third down
Numbers
again. They need him here, don't they?
Quarterbacks way in favor of Stetson Bennett. They're down to 9. McConkey in motion up top. Bowers is on that side with him. The throw's going to McConkey with Bowers blocking for him, and McConkey's got not only a first down, but a lot more. All the way to the 40-yard line. Snap, and Georgia goes to 9-0. 6-0 in the conference.
Confidence in ourselves, and we, outside doesn't matter. If we take care of business, then everything else takes care of business. So we just want to go out there and play well today.
How much did the home crowd, 7 false starts for Tennessee, how much did that home crowd help you guys?
Yeah. I mean, good Lord, they're loud, weren't they? Oh, that was awesome. It helped so much. It helped us ride the momentum wave, and it hurt them because they couldn't communicate as well. The fans did awesome.
Can you talk about that first touchdown? And it looked like you were singling, like you had a phone in your hand or something. Can you talk about the play and I don't know if you call it a celebration or just a message?
Yeah, it was a pass play, and I think Kenny stepped up and protected pretty well, and then ran, and it was just, I'm sure everybody else knows what it's about, but I just don't. In a moment, we'll figure it out.
How many phone calls did you get last night?
Probably 600-700.
No kidding. Phone calls, not just
text, everything.
Put it on vibrate.
I figured out a way to hide them all so they wouldn't show up. But
what time did that start?
Probably noon.
Wow.
Probably.
Any messages?
Yeah, a lot of messages.
Did you return any?
No, didn't return any. Just sat on them, ate them.
Is that kind of thing motivation? I mean, I know that kind of silly stuff happens all the time, but did it light a little fire there?
I wouldn't say motivation, but it's there's probably something there, yeah.
Georgia 27, Tennessee 13. Wow, that game did not feel that close, did it? They had some receivers step up. It turns out they really could victimize Tennessee's secondary because their offensive line went to work. Georgia's offensive line needed to play the game of the year. It's what we talked about Thursday. It's what we talked about Tuesday. It's what they largely did yesterday. I don't know what PFF graded them out on. I know I stood there and looked across the field the entire afternoon, and I saw which side was getting surged. I saw which quarterback was kept clean for the most part, and it was the one wearing the red top. So Stetson Bennett had himself a really good afternoon. I don't know what the decibel level is to hurt your hearing. I don't know at what point it just all sounds like noise. But whatever that point is, that place got well above that point yesterday because I could not distinguish between that and Death Valley at night and Neyland a couple of weeks ago. Couldn't distinguish between it. Certainly had a big outcome or impact on the outcome of the game.
The defending national champs against the #1 team in the country, Tennessee.
Alabama, LSU, buckle up and enjoy.
Stetson breaks the tackle, goes for the pylon. That's a touchdown. Throws it back line of the end zone. Reaching catch. He got the feet in. Touchdown. Hooker deep ball. Intercepted. Georgia remains undefeated.
Kelly says we're going for 2 and the dub. Daniels for the win. It's good. LSU does it. Bama's playoff hopes are over. It is Georgia and everybody else.
The Georgia Bulldogs are indeed the clear-cut #1 team in the country. After last week's convincing win over previously top-ranked Tennessee, tonight they take on their fellow Bulldogs from Mississippi State on a chilly night here at Davis-Wade Stadium. Rolls all the way down to the 27-yard line. Here come the Dogs, led by Stetson Bennett, the 25-year-old outstanding in their win over Tennessee at Sanford Stadium last week. He threw for 2. He ran for the first touchdown of the game. And Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, said he really is the man who is making this go. Kendall Milton now the tailback. Play fake, wide open. Brock Bowers the touchdown.
With his eyes.
Bennett for Kieris Jackson.
What a catch.
What a grab. He plucked it away from Emmanuel Forbes. Georgia 31-24 win. Bennett. Shake and bake. Touchdown. Stetson Bennett.
Wow. Colin Duncan. Where is your athletic supporter, my man? Watch this move by Stetson Bennett.
96 for Georgia is wearing 44.
Wow.
Even though we're early in the third quarter. Four-man rush, lots of time. Stetson Bennett for Jackson. Here's Jackson, another deep ball catch. Bennett zings one to the goal line. Touchdown, Ladd McConkey. Here comes pressure, he just got it off. McConkey, another catch. Down to the 1 yard line. Ladd McConkey's almost as many total yards as Mississippi State. Play fake. Wanted Bowers, settles for the other tight end, Washington. Touchdown, Georgia.
Last year, statistically, Stetson Bennett, the numbers, and now you see the improvements in top 20 in a lot of categories. Georgia, you think about the past.
Right.
Kendall Milton in there now. Bennett off the bootleg. Throws on the run, little sidearm dart over to McConkey. McConkey inside the 10, and it's first and goal.
And again, look at the patience he has. He's played so many football games.
Play clock down to 1. Just got it off. They're going to bring pressure from the secondary. Bennett throws, almost intercepted, but it's caught by Blaylock. Dominic Blaylock. And a big play for Georgia. That was so close to being a pick six going the other way.
I got to say, when he threw it, I went, uh-oh.
With this win, it ties the all-time mark for senior class victories. And if they beat Georgia Tech next week, they will be the winningest senior class Georgia's ever had, and they've had some darn good ones.
Marathon. This is the SEC on ESPN. Not just the traditional rivalry weekend in college football, but also the tradition of Senior Day. And one of the great Senior Day stories in all of college football, Stetson Bennett, as he came out to meet his family. The roars of the crowd here in Athens, and a short time ago, Chris Budden spoke with his parents. Four-man rush. Stepping up in the pocket, Bennett keeping his eyes downfield. He's going to take off and run again into the red zone. Toe taps along the sideline. Close to a first down. He's got it. Down to the 5-yard line. Instead, Bennett to the air. Into the end zone. Climb in the air. Rosamond Jackson. Touchdown, Georgia. Stetson Bennett looks that way. Here comes the pressure. He throws one, and it is caught. Bowers inside the 10, down to the 5. Bennett waited for the slant to come open, and he hit his big tight end for 10. Is now the I-back. Play action. Bennett into the end zone, underthrown, scooped up by Bowers. Touchdown!
For an SEC championship, here we go. And LSU will bring it out to the 25-yard line to start offensively. Edwards in the backfield and gets in motion out of it. Bennett throws on the run. Bowers, touchdown, Georgia. Let's see if they go for a quick strike. Bennett does. Got it. McConkey, touchdown. "22 yards. Slips a little bit as he throws. Still got it complete to midfield to McConkey in a first down.
In the end, got just enough of them.
Pump fake, late throw over the middle, and still got it complete.
You know, on that one right there, now that's complete. But you got the feeling, as he looks over, that if that wouldn't have worked, he'd had to talk to Kirby Smart when he got over, right?
He had a personal conversation with the coach.
This didn't work. Now watch how he lets this go. He'd be going, we don't need this. Just take the easy one. He looks over, I don't, coach. I know, I shouldn't have done that.
Dominic Blaylock with the first down catch.
You could almost feel it when he let it go.
Yeah, he had to look to the sideline immediately. Bennett down the middle to the end zone. Touchdown, Darnell Washington.
Here's the rollout. Bowers is in the end zone. So is Dylan Bell. Touchdown, Georgia.
Something I think college football should look at.
2nd and 7. Bennett. Whoa, what a strike to Bowers. He was completely blanketed, and that's Brock Bowers. And Bennett goes, dropping the mic. Oh, boy. Here we go.
Hey, if you want to play quarterback, you got to be a little bit cocky, right?
Yeah. Probably one more wink coming from Stetson Bennett, though, as he looks to the sideline. That'll do it. Your SEC champions for 2022, the Georgia Bulldogs. And still perfect at 13-0.
I wouldn't trade any of this for that. So I don't know if I said that wrong, but I love you guys. Buster, you're the man. Thank you for being the voice of reason on a crazy sideline. Thank you. We've seen it all. We've been through it. Steve, you the man. Thank you for being a level-headed adult that came with us all. To my teammates, how about them dogs, baby? SEC champs, huh? You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all, the coaching staff, you know, everybody in that program. You know, everybody cares about winning, but you're all great people, and it's been a pleasure in my life being there. It's been a long period of my life being there, but it's also been, I'm very appreciative of it. And I wish each and every one of my teammates could be here. Up here, I don't know if they could accept this word there. They took the easy way out and got scholarships out of high school. But Aiden and Carlton, y'all two are studs, man. Y'all, you know, I love football, and I know because y'all two are here that y'all love football. You know, there's a lot of hoopla and other stuff that go into it, but at its core, it's a pure sport, and it's beautiful. And I love everything about it, and I love being a walk-on because it allowed me to see that, and it allowed me to grow up a little bit when I wasn't grown, you know, coming out. Still not grown. Hopefully I stay a kid forever, honestly. But being a walk-on humbles you. But it also allows me to know you without knowing you, right? Every other award, well, I don't know every other award, but most other awards, I would say, you know, you can look at it and you can imagine that they're a good football player. This one, you can look at it and imagine the person that they are, and you can be right. You know, I assume, Marty, you probably know better than I do, but you can be right nearly 100% of the time, and that's because being a walk-on is not easy. You know, and wow, huge honor. I don't know what to say, but what I do know is that I feel like I know Brandon a little bit just because we've been there, man, and we've been down. Like, football, growing up, it was the thing that you were best at. It was the thing that you believed in. It was the thing you spent the most time doing. You know, you thought you were pretty good in your hometown, right? And then you walk on to college and come to find out that, hey, this thing that you said you're best at in the world, that you spend the most time at in the world, that you care about in the world, well, it ain't good enough to play here. And so when people talk about Brandon and his legacy, you know, it's hard to remember that, but I think it's important too, because he didn't just run bleachers a lot. right? He didn't just do more push-ups than other people. You know, he came out and thought he had a good practice one day, and then his coach still told him he wasn't good enough, right? And that's a long look in the mirror. You know, that's dark when you get down that road. But that's why he's so special, because he took that mirror and he broke it over his knee, and he became an All-American, and he got drafted. And so, again, thank you, Marty, Miss Vicky. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all, too, for being studs. And go Dogs. Thank you.
Hey all, Wes Blankenship here, Dogs HQ, with a somewhat of an emergency broadcast, I guess. Emergency sounds extreme. It's a good emergency. I guess that's a surprise. Maybe not a surprise, though, if you've been watching. Stetson F. Bennett, the fourth, is a Heisman Trophy finalist.
BA out in the dark somewhere. Stetson Bennett. For the first time since 1992, Georgia will have a Heisman Trophy finalist represented there in New York.
Who would have thought, going all the way back to the summer, that Stetson Bennett IV would be a Heisman Trophy finalist?
All the criticism, despite all the doubts, first from Dog Nation and eventually the entire nation, former walk-on Stetson Bennett has done more than really any of us expected he would. Multiple MVP awards and some big games have led to an SEC championship, a national championship, and now an invite to New York as a Heisman finalist. We'll see how he finishes in the voting on Saturday evening.
But even if we wouldn't be here right now, you know, I'd still be the quarterback for University of Georgia, and you'd still be my brothers, and we still go out there and compete every day. And, you know, that's what it's about. It's not, you know, if the national championship's one day of the year, you got a bunch of other days. And, you know, I'd rather find out than you know, speculate.
Talking is over. It's time to go play.
College football playoff semifinal Saturday shifts to Atlanta, the epicenter of college football. And the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl hosts the semifinal for the third time. Plenty of time for Stroud. Directing receivers, flips it to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Marvin Harrison Jr. making a huge impact, and the Buckeyes draw first blood, 31 yards. Vanderbilt got him a couple times in that route. Ball quickly out. McIntosh knifing to the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia. Just like that, the Bulldogs bounce back. Split wide. And they're going to hand the ball off inside. Williams powering forward, drives the legs and scores for Ohio State. That has been missing in recent weeks. Mayan Williams with a physical run. Back, it's McConkey in motion. Bennett avoids the rush and delivers, but it's intercepted. He threw it right to Steel Chambers. And the first bad decision by Bennett tonight, and the first takeaway of this game at the plus 30. Pressure. He avoids it and delivers a strike along the sideline. Had to get away from the rush and found Fleming. Wow. Tailback Chip Trainum was a linebacker until a shift mid-season. Stroud harassed. He escapes again, and it's in. No, throw to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown Harrison again. Stroud, like a maestro, escapes the sack and delivers a strike for the second time to his star receiver. Kendall Milton is the back. Bennett's going to launch downfield on the run. Caught! Arian Smith, the speedster, makes the catch down to the Buckeyes 10.
Who's got to carry that?
Milton makes a cut and bangs down near the goal line. Touchdown! He got in. How about that answer by Georgia? Here's the deep setback. And he's got the football, and he's got a crease in the clear. McIntosh, one man to beat. Touchdown, go! He stumbled. Are you kidding me? The turf monster got him at the 10. Freshman Delp, you talked about to the left here. It's McIntosh in motion. Bennett's going to run it. Can he get the edge? He walks in. Touchdown, Georgia. We both appreciate Todd Monk and his personality. Stroud has rediscovered that rhythm, flips it right down the middle. It's Johnson who's got it, spinning to the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State, as they reclaim the lead. Third touchdown for Stroud in the half.
If you start to get tired up front.
On 3rd and 2. Play action, flipped wide open. Abuka, touchdown Ohio State. What a start to the third quarter for the Buckeyes. Get the 3-and-out stop, and they take it 7.
Getting a lead got them out of their style of play.
Play fake, launch, wide open. Arian Smith left alone, and Georgia strikes quickly. 76 yards. Ransom was in coverage and he slipped. Smith got way behind him.
That's exactly right.
3 catches for 129. Bennett delivers, and the two-pointer is good to Ladd McConkey. Bennett has time, flips it across the middle into traffic, and there's Brock Bowers, first down at the 45. Bennett steps up, delivers down the middle. Kyrus Jackson makes the catch at the 15. In the final minute, Bennett from the pocket, launches to the end zone, caught, touchdown, A.D. Mitchell. Does his job here, 42-41. Stroud flushed again. He's got a lot of space right up the middle. C.J. Stroud down into field goal range at the 30. Noah Ruggles living his dream, kicking for Ohio State from 50 for the win and a spot in the national championship game. It's on the way. No good. He hooked it. And Georgia is going to survive. At the stroke of midnight, the first few seconds of 2023, one kick short. And C.J. Stroud's tremendous effort, 4 touchdown passes, huge scrambles, not quite enough. The Dogs defense made it a long-range field goal, and Stetson Bennett will have engineered what is the game-winning drive in the fourth quarter.
See the emotion on Stetson Bennett in his face, overwhelmed. 3 seconds to go, and that'll be it. But this champion was tested. The Georgia Bulldogs took Ohio State's best shot, and it was a back-and-forth game. Georgia advances to play TCU, deserves all the credit for finding a way to win the game, especially Bennett, down by 6, leads his team down in fitting championship fashion. But boy, Ohio State, man, deserves a ton of credit, especially that guy right there, number 7, C.J. Stroud. He left his heart out on this field, overcame a lot, made a lot of plays with his arm, made a lot of plays with his leg, lost his guy, Marvin Harrison, lost Cade Stover. Ohio State just kind of kept battling, and they come up a bit short. Like I said, it's all about Georgia congratulating them and advancing to that national title. Both teams played great tonight.
Fourth quarter was the difference. That's what Georgia works for. It's what they train for. It's what they build their culture around. And the Dogs dig deep in their backyard and earn the right to defend their national championship in L.A. And Stetson Bennett and C.J. Stroud, massive show of respect. Two guys who played brilliantly tonight. Stroud's Ohio State career would come to an end, and Bennett, one more game to go.
In what was an absolutely classic finish in the Peach Bowl, the Georgia Bulldogs found themselves actually in an unfamiliar position. Down by 14 points in the fourth quarter before Stetson Bennett found his way once again, finishing the game 10 of 12 with 2 touchdowns, including what was the game winner, as the Dogs are now headed back to the national championship game for the second straight year.
Looking at everybody and saying, all right, hey, we hadn't played our best and we hadn't done our jobs to the best of our ability, but hey, we're here now and it's in our hand now. Where else would you rather be? You know, having the ball with 2 minutes left, and if you score a touchdown, you win the game. And I looked around, and there was just a whole bunch of just determined, strong stares from all the dudes, and gave me confidence. Everybody else had confidence when we went down the field.
Stetson Bennett and Georgia won the game. But I realized something about myself last weekend. I realized that he's not so different than me. We're not so different, Stetson and I. We're both part of pretty elite clubs. Stetson Bennett is on the precipice of being part of the 2 championship club as a starting quarterback, and hardly anyone's ever done that, but I'm part of an elite club too. I'm part of the club that has freely admitted they were wrong about Stetson Bennett, and there are not a lot of us in the room. I'm the guy, if you'll remember, that once spoke into this microphone, and I said, no team with Stetson Bennett at quarterback is going to win a national championship. I was so confident in it. I was so sure of myself. Why? Because history was on my side. Well, if we were running the Georgia program based off history, this guy never would have gotten a shot to begin with. He has bucked history at every turn in his career and still continues to do so. So what I did was I came on the show and said, hey, man, I was wrong about him. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I was wrong about him. He took every word that came out of my mouth and just stuffed them right back in my face. Good for him.
5G pregame showcase inside SoFi Stadium. TCU, the first Big 12 team to make it to this stage. Of course, the SEC has dominated these playoff championship games 13-3 against all other conferences. 70,000 split down the middle between purple and red tonight.
The
keeper, Bennett, gets a block. Georgia draws first blood. With the play action, Bennett looks down the middle. McConkey's wide open. Touchdown, Dogs. Seven-yard strike. Another clever play design and masterful execution so far by the Dogs.
Quickly in an empty set.
Snap it at 2. He's immediately pressured. Winters chasing Bennett 13 versus 13, but the quarterback wins that battle and dives for a first down to the 33.
And this is the you kind of roll the dice.
Bennett keeping all the way and just sauntering into the end zone. His second rushing touchdown, and Georgia throwing haymakers and building a big lead now. Defended route, those routes down the seam in the middle. Bennett looking this time to the edge. Mitchell, one-handed catch for a touchdown. And the highlight reel continues. He beat an excellent corner in Josh Newton, but A.D. Mitchell, who didn't have a catch from week 3 until the semifinal game, comes up big again. It's hoping that that will create some kind of a turnaround here, but that's reaching a bit. Ball to the end zone. Bowers, touchdown. And Bennett continues to dazzle. And Brock Bowers showing that he is one of the elite athletes in this sport. Bennett once more goes to the end zone. McConkey with another touchdown catch. Not done dominating yet. They've hit half 100 now. TCU just not built the same way, and Georgia continues to stack recruiting classes on top of each other. They don't use the portal. They don't have to.
It's a Stetson Bennett curtain call here.
Here we go. Bennett caps a career that began with no scholarship offer at Georgia He'll leave with a legacy unlike anybody else at this school. Two-time national championship quarterback. No doubt most outstanding player in his 4th playoff game. Not even he could have dreamt this. But the Georgia Bulldogs bludgeoned their way to back-to-back. Glory, glory, Georgia, as the fight song says. Leaving no doubt. That's been the mantra. They made it real tonight. Respect for these two warrior quarterbacks, Heisman finalists. Belongs to Stetson Bennett, who leaves a legacy very few will be able to match. Back-to-back championships, no doubt the most outstanding player for a 4th time in a CFP game. Throws for 304 and 4 touchdowns, runs for a couple touchdowns.
The offensive MVP of the national championship game is Stetson Bennett. Stetson, you accounted for 6 touchdowns. That matches Joe Burrow, college football playoff record. And we talked a lot about this story that you've been on and writing the ending near Hollywood. How would you describe the way you authored the ending to your Georgia career?
That's a hell of a question. I don't know. We had I think Monk said he was going to retire after tonight because that was a hell of a game plan. I don't think I got touched all night. I ran in 2 touchdowns. Anybody could have done that. Unbelievable team performance. 7 points. Hell of a job by the defense. I love this team. I love those fans. I love our band. I love everybody. Back to back, baby. Back to back.
For so long, you used that chip on your shoulder, and now you're getting these accolades. How did you envision this in your mind as opposed to how this is played out on not only this stage, but the one last year?
Oh yeah, I didn't dream this, man. I was just trying to do my job, and we ended up here, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Mailman delivered again. Stetson, congratulations. Stetson Bennett, offensive MVP. And
Sneed, Los Angeles Rams. What's going on?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. You want to come play quarterback for us?
I would love to. I would love to do
then.
that. Yes, sir.
Hey, we're going to draft you and with this pick, and I'm going to hand you over to Coach McVay.
That's the Eagle. The Rams are in here, and I could tell you that the Rams, they weren't going to do it on day one, but quarterback. So I wonder if Haener might have been their guy if they're still thinking quarterback. They were thinking quarterback day 3. I don't know who's on the board that you would consider Hall, Bennett, McKee, but this might be the quarterback pick for the Rams.
With the 128th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Stetson Bennett, quarterback, Georgia.
Stetson Bennett is a Los Angeles Ram, and obviously he enjoyed his night in SoFi Stadium in the middle of January.
Stetson Bennett wasn't only able to make his childhood dream come true as being the starting quarterback at the University of Georgia, but he was able to bring back-to-back national championships to the Georgia Bulldogs and become a Heisman finalist at that. And then he went on to get drafted in the 4th round by the Los Angeles Rams, and since then he has been on their roster as a backup quarterback, a 3rd string to a 2nd string quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. And who knows what his work ethic, his mentality, and his just determination will get him in the future, whether it's starting for an NFL team or just moving on with his life as a amazing person, amazing former quarterback, and just the man, Stetson Bennett. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and go Dogs.